slowly falling to the music and the atmosphere. Now and then I feel lights fading softly all over me, and I remember last year when I was alone in my bed with all these thoughts in my head and living silently inside. It's so late in the night, my mind is drifting away. Then I dream about times I wished for a new, happier day.
Have something potentially Forsaken, potentially 𝘰𝘯𝘬𝘮. We're not sure yet.
Potentially mind-free.
Potentially mind-free. We don't know, right? And as we can see right here, we're looking at Texture and Meteor, and that's what I'm so excited to see. All of these Jets and Rays possibly flying around in this matchup.
Halo Ronaldo, halo Jopra, halo Ryan, halo Tito, halo Setia, halo Saul, halo 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦𝘮, halo Tabib, halo Tegar, halo Gujo, halo Chris. Hi guys.
Now these are all the stats combined, like kills, assists, etc. But this tells the story. It's Texture and Meteor really leading the charge here. And 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮, I mean, maybe the numbers don't tell the exact story because he did seem stable, but he also didn't have to do too much. I mean, Texture and Meteor were in the front lines taking care of everything.
I mean, yeah, Texture would drop the 30 bomb in the one map, etc. Meteor was still putting up solid numbers despite only playing Duelist in the final map of that series or something like that when they were running double. But I mean, it's just an incredible performance, and as you were just highlighting, Texture versus something, a bit of a Duelist matchup that we were kind of robbed from last year, given that Texture was the one who was playing widely that Sentinel role, being a bit of a flex for the side of global esports.
W Gaming, W Gaming, W Gaming, halo Radit.
This is going to be an incredible clash. We've always looked forward to, something versus 𝘭𝑪, something versus 𝘰𝘯𝑚, etc. Now we get this matchup, and it's bound to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and this stat line, obviously, Textures is coming off of that opening match, so it is a bit skewed. But even if you kind of think about averages, Texture's currently on track to average a pretty high stat line all throughout. So something very stable scoreline, obviously very impressive, but hopefully he's also upgraded, because that's the only way he's going to be able to match that.
Sorry, I look like a grandfather who's about to sit down in his recliner, smoke a pipe,
it's getting to that time.
tell you tales about the war.
Let me tell you about the time I saw 𝘭𝑪𝘬𝘮 do this.
I don't know if this is going to make it through to the next segment. We'll have to see.
𝘭𝑪𝘬𝘮 vs RRQ, mantap nih.
Yeay. Not to mention they're one of the most flexible.
Kan yang menang PRX, ini lawan GENG lagi.
He's gonna have a lot on his shoulders, 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘮, because he could be up against Mindfreak, he could be up against 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮, who we saw flexing over into the controller role a little bit. He could be up against 𝘰𝘯𝘮. He could be up against Forsaken.
This is the problem that GENG has coming into this is you haven't really seen this full 5 of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 too much. There isn't that much tape out there. 𝘭𝘭𝘮𝘮 got to study your game versus RRQ. But you also, even then, you know who you're playing against now, but you don't know what the hell they're going to be doing and who's going to be playing what. So there's still a ton of curveballs that can be thrown here by 𝘭𝘭𝘮𝑮 to catch GENG off guard.
And on top of that, continuing to talk about 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝑮, everyone who faces 𝘭𝘭𝘮𝑮 for the first time says the same thing. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was prepared for this, and it was still much faster, much stronger than I would have ever imagined. So, I don't know if
Jahat anjir.
map at the very least.
I mean, 𝘰𝘯𝘮𝑮's already on the team, and that's exactly what he said. Right?
Yeah,
He was
even
like, I wasn't prepared, and you're already on the same team. So this is gonna be
RRQ
so
Valo kapan main
exciting.
Mbak
I
sama
cannot
tim
wait
Valo?
for this matchup.
Besok main RRQ
And as
Valo.
we know, we have the spotlight on a lot of the rookies.
Besok gue masih belum tahu nih bisa WP atau kagak.
So I can't wait to see how Karin is able
Kemungkinan
to,
besar sih kayaknya tidak deh.
What his next level is, especially since we've just begun our year here at 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝑚, and we're already getting matchups like this. It's so exciting.
Halo Ego, halo Joey, halo Aska, halo Guapo. Dukung siapa? 𝘭𝘭𝘮𝑮 dong, Indo Pride.
The tournament itself is just going to be so rapid fire, back and forth. Just boom, boom, boom. You're in this tournament, you're out of it. Suddenly, maybe you're at Madrid. So it's high octane. That's something that 𝘭𝘭𝘮𝑮 thrives in. GENG trying to prove that they also can do that. There is going to be so much added pressure on 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝑮. I mean, that first matchup already a bit of a high stakes one for them. Obviously, every match in this tournament format is going to be high stakes, but inheriting that kind of rivalry that was coming through between GENG and RRQ was a bit of a big thing for him, but he managed to stand up to the task. But this is gargantuan comparison.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very tough order here for anyone in this group.
I think that we're about to throw it to the stage right now, so let's check out what's happening.
Dukung siapa lo, Min? Dukung RRQ. RRQ salah. PRX.
BCT 퍼시픽 킥
Halo, Ego.
여러분 오래 기다리셨습니다. 지금
RRQ, PRX dukung siapa? RRQ dong. PRX pernah kali jadi pacarku.
인터뷰를 나눠볼까?
RRQ nanti Rabu. Rabu jam 1.
Everyone, the wait is over. For me, I have GENG and PRX's coaches, and I'll have a little chat with them. So for GENG's coach Solo, I'm gonna ask you about the RRQ match you had last time. So how did it felt with that match? RRQ와의 경기를 이기셨잖아요 최근에. 어떤 소감이 있을지 궁금합니다.
RRQ가 그 퍼시픽 사이에서 잘한다는 소문이 계속 돌았었어요. 그래서 저희도 조금 많이 생각하고, 그리고 저희는 저희가 죽음의 조라고 생각을 했거든요. 그래서 굉장히 RRQ 선수들이 너무 잘해서 저희도 좀 힘들었지만 그래도 이겨서 기분이 너무 좋았습니다.
Susah tapi
Honestly, it was
bisa
a match because we heard
menang,
from
jadi
everyone
happy.
that RRQ was one of the high-ranked team. So it was tough, but it was really
Halo,
happy to
Kiko.
eventually win the game. 그럼
Wajah Murphy satu
다음으로
deh.
또 승리를 축하하면서 이렇게 힘겹게 올라왔더니 두 번째 상대가
MC itu siapa?
PRX입니다. 기분이
nggak tahu.
어떠신지 궁금해요. So
Nggak tahu sana.
you were really happy with the win with RQ, but next you met PRX right away. So how do you feel about that?
Nobar harus cantik juga ya, Min?
그 조가
Nobar harus cantik
보고
juga.
나서
Enggak sih.
무조건 PRX 만날 생각을 계속 하고 있었기
Yang disapa sama Nightbot. Oh, hari ini Nightbotnya kerja nggak nih?
퍼시픽에서 제일 잘하는 팀이기 때문에 저희가
Woi, Nightbot kerja anjir.
긴장하고 잘해야 될 것 같습니다.
Oh, kerja dia.
Seeing the group match
Bagus.
schedule, we knew that we will meet PRX someday, and we
Mirip
prepared for
Hanyura,
that.
anjir.
And now it came true, so I think we'll be
nih,
confident
mirip
to
gak sih?
win through the match.
Mirip
그렇다면
dia.
이제 시간이 이렇게 많이 준비되지 않았어요. 그래서 이번 준비 과정이 좀 어려웠을 것 같은데 어떤 준비를 하셨는지 또 궁금한데요.
Apa yang lo
So basically,
persiapin?
you didn't have that much time, but how did you prep for the match against
Mirip gak sih?
PRX?
Apa Hanyura lagi jangan-jangan ini? Nggak mirip. Kok gue mirip sih ngerasanya? Namanya 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮. Oh, 𝘰𝘰𝘮.
너무 없기 때문에
Hello, cakep pisan.
뭐 공격적으로
Iya,
하는 것도
namanya
알고 있고,
𝘰𝘰𝘮.
그 부분에 있어서 대처
Nightbot.
방안을
saya.
하고 있고요. 그리고 일단 저희
Emang Korea mirip, orang Korea mirip-mirip.
하면은
Bukan itu emang Hanyura. Lah katanya bukan, katanya 𝘰𝘰𝘮.
There wasn't a really recent match to watch for PRX.
Ih, mirip banget
we didn't
anjir
have
sama
that much
Hanyura.
information.
Beda.
But, you know, we've been
Oh,
prepared
jangan-jangan itu
and
lo
we
main.
know
Enggak
they're-
dong, kan gue di
they're
sini.
doing aggressive
Gila ya.
play. So I think we are truly
Nggak
really
banget MC
prepared
Malik.
well. So we're ready for the match. Okay, so you just heard what they said, right, Alex?
Aduh, Alex.
So the first question
Takut banget,
is,
gebrak meja lagi.
lastly, you won the Pacifics 2023. So what do you think about the kickoff matches so far?
Itu Han Yulik. Halo Ron. Lu salah lahir Lik, harus lahir di Korea. Anjir, saya orang Indo. Berapa menit lagi mulainya? 10 menit paling. 12 menit.
Oh, okay. Really humble, right?
Tuh kayak mereka pas dokternya sama, hey.
네, 여태까지 킥오프 경기를 보면서 다 모두 실력이 향상된 것 같고 저희도 좀 더 열심히 해야겠다는 아주 겸손한 답변을 해줬습니다. 그럼 또 다음 질문으로 넘어가 볼게요. 젠지 팀에 대해서 개인적으로 어떤 생각을 가지고 있는지 묻겠습니다. So what do you think about GENG personally? They're right next to you, but
I mean, I thought they had a really good showing against RRQ. It was quite impressive. And the word on the street is they've been playing very well in practice. So I'm looking forward to a good game. But that being said, I think I'm also very happy to share the stage with Solo. He's one of my heroes growing up, you know, because I used to play 1.6 and yeah, he was like dominating everyone in Asia. And also the last time I think we coached against each other was 𝘧𝘰𝘯𝘪𝘬𝘦 where he won. So hoping for a little bit of revenge today.
오케이.
Gue kelingin kali. Hah?
이번에
Baru sama lu dari mananya gue kelingin.
정말
Lebih lu, Drew.
잘한다고 생각이
Diem nggak?
들고 또
Anjing.
개인적으로 솔로 코치와도
Asik gebrak meja dia. Iya, Jir, fix. Lo kangen liat Alex gebrak meja gak? Gebrak rumah.
2021에서도 인연이 있기 때문에
Anjing,
이번에는 좀
gebrak
이겨야
meja
될
ya,
것
anjir.
같다.
Rata-rata orang-orang awet muda gak kayak wibu komplek.
또 마지막으로
wibu komplek juga udah age anjir 40 and 50 something.
So lastly, tell us
Halo,
your
Kiwi.
mindset
Halo,
heading to
Toge.
the first match.
Halo Shushu, semangat kerjanya.
I think in PRX,
Itu matanya mirip Hanyura. Iya mirip, mukanya juga mirip, gak cuma matanya doang.
It's a new year for us.
Orang PRX nge-chat amat badannya. Iya anjir, si Alex emang
So we're just gonna go in and
gede anjir.
try not to underestimate
Misalnya
anyone and just play our best.
Oh, okay, nice. 저희는
있어
항상
사죠.
매년 새로운 마음가짐으로 0에서 다시 시작하기 때문에 이번에도 또 새롭게 더 강하게
tapi
시작해보겠다.
ininya bagus anjir, apa
겸손한 답변을
jersinya
들었습니다.
yang
So thank you,
2024
Alex and Solo, wish you best of luck.
kayak neon
네,
gitu,
지금까지
glow in the
알렉스
dark.
감독과 솔로 감독
Terus gimana beda
만나봤는데요.
cakapan
두 팀의
Hanura?
남다른
아,
각오를
dasar lelaki.
들어보니까 이 재밌는 경기가 될 것 같은
Tahu dari mana, Jil?
느낌인데 잠시 후에 선수들을
Ininya
만나보도록
badannya
하겠습니다.
buff, gila ya.
After listening to the coaches, I can tell this
WP
one's
sampai
gonna be a
kapan?
max entertainment.
Sampai malam, sampai
So,
T1.
shall we go meet the players?
Sampai T1. T1 Zeta jam 5.
Gotta love these
Udah
interactions
2-0
with the
aja
coaches.
semuanya.
And Alex playing up
Capek.
against one of his idols, of
Lama,
course.
lama.
That's gonna be exciting.
I like the deep lore of these
2-0, 2-0. Gue pegang PRX,
even
Bleed,
mentioning the
T1.
LCQ all the way back in
Dah,
2021.
Mantap.
I love to see that. I love that he has a lot of respect for Solo, but
Meja, here we go
ultimately
again.
is just has a good mindset coming
Apa
into this. And that's something
Hikyoe?
that we've always
Gohik?
expected from
Kalau
PaperX.
pacar sibuk tapi yang ngabarin
But I
gimana,
love
Lik?
just the quote there of just
Komunikasi
saying,
nomor
like,
satu.
our
Kalau
achievements
sibuk
in the
pun
past don't
harus
matter. It's a reset. We're coming
kasih
into a
kabar.
new year. It's a bit of a different
Walaupun
roster.
3 jam sekali
So
tetap harus
we're
kasih
just
kabar.
gonna tackle this one step at a
Menurut
time.
gue.
And I think that's the best way to look at it, especially in a game that moves as fast as Valor, right? We've seen so many switches even during the year. So
Iwan, jam berapa? Gila, jam
Alex
5.
trying to get as prepared as
Ini gue
possible.
jam 1
Also,
jam
that
5,
whole
sampai jam
war,
7.
I think it also paints a good picture of where Solo's at
Kalau
in his
ntar
career
nggak
right
kuat
now.
ya
And he's
paling
such a storied
turu
veteran,
tengah jalan.
and yet as a coach, as a head coach in Valorant, he
Pakai
just
Valorant
hasn't seen
GENG apa?
success. So
Aduh,
he's
gue suka
desperate for that
Wikipedia.
victory to try
Kenapa
to
sih?
get to a higher spot.
Well, we
Apa sih,
did hear
Bro?
that
Anjir.
GENG has been preparing a lot for PaperX. We're gonna see if it is indeed enough, right? But
Aduh.
you're absolutely right. I love that mentality that Alex is bringing into this back to zero,
Nih,
right?
tuh.
If you're tilted and it's
Was gak?
round whatever, you know, it's back to zero the
Oh,
entire
Andrew.
time. That's championship mindset
Nomor apa
right
aja hari
there.
ini?
And I'm pretty
Semua.
sure that GENG right now,
Gue pengen
you
banget
know, they
sebetulnya, gue
are
gak pengen
feeling like
nonton
they're up
EA,
against
gue gak
giants,
pengen yang
even though
Blitz
Alex
sebetulnya
says
ya.
it's like,
Tapi
it doesn't mean anything.
karena dia ada di
But
tengah-tengah
what
kan
means
ganggu
something
mungkin
is definitely the
on off
singular
stream.
GENG prediction right here. William, do you want to explain yourself?
Oh man, we're starting this early in the year.
You're normally the guy that
Gue pengen nonton T1, aduh seru banget, sumpah.
Hate is a very strong word. I'm usually
Gue gak
doubting
pengen
the
nonton
Korean
ini, mana nih?
teams, but first of all, I
Nih,
was
gue
very
mau
impressed. I
nonton
thought
ini,
what they
soalnya.
showed against RRQ, and this has nothing to do
Tapi nggak
with my
bisa.
phobia for
Kok udah
RRQ, but
beli? Iya,
simply,
ini.
I thought GENG really
Gua nggak-
played
gua
up
nggak
to their
pengen
potential.
sebetulnya.
I thought they performed what everyone wanted to see from this
Tapi
roster.
yaudah.
And my expectation is
Biasa
I
aja.
think on the flip
Atau
side, I
sampai
don't know
7.
if PaperX is going to be quite ready to face off against
Jadi
these
nggak
players who
mendukung
are
ya, Alex?
actually playing
Ada
like,
Babang
in their
Blazking.
own
Oh iya,
freedom,
ya
right?
Blazking.
The likes of
Gue baru
Texture,
inget.
Meteor, I would say even
Anjir.
Munchkin, the fact that they can now just
Bener
go
juga.
out and frag the way
Enggak
they
deh,
wish
gue
to
dukung
is not a form
Blit
that
aja
we've
ada
seen
Abang
from them in the
Ye.
past year.
Okay, Lias, what was the
Tapi Indo
ACS
Pride ya?
texture again?
It was high. It was really, really high.
Yes.
But
Ada
you're
𝘧𝘰𝘯𝘮𝘮𝘮 juga.
you were ridiculing me for giving Texture a 10 out of 10
Panutan.
for his performance.
Whoa,
So
whoa.
which side of the
Well,
coin do you actually want to land on?
Eh, Ben
saved
kayak
my
gimana?
tens for the
Kemarin gue
MVP
nonton.
the whole
Jago gak?
season. So-
I gave out two, one to Governor, one to Texture.
Rajanan lu
Those
sumpah
were my
like
two
for dia
tens
cuma RRQ.
for the last
Gak
2
bisa
days.
soalnya besok kan gue gak bisa WP. Gue juga pengen WP besok.
Texture played really
Tapi
well.
kayaknya
I
nggak
just
bisa.
think we don't know enough where the standard is, right? Because like we don't know how much of that was also RQ maybe folding a little bit because GENG was looking so strong because they
Fair.
came out swinging. At the
Kalau
same
nggak dikabarin
time,
gimana dong?
GENG did also drop a map against RQ. It wasn't a clean 2-0, so I think there's a lot more to prove. But I just
Babi
think
sih itu
stylistically,
kayaknya.
GENG's actually going to match up against PaperX quite
Not
well.
good.
I do think the old habits are gonna come
Besok
in for
Selasa.
GENG,
Bukan.
you know?
They very well could.
Besok
I think,
gue juga
look,
nggak bisa
I
yang
think
jam
it's
1.
gonna be a close series.
Jam
I
berapa
think
sih mulai?
that if
3 ya?
PaperX do have that kind of like rougher starting point, we haven't seen them yet. They have to get back on stage. They have to get reacclimated to the environment. I could see this absolutely being very close. GENG
Besok
absolutely has
jam-
impressed so far. I'm expecting 3 maps almost no matter what, unless PaperX comes out.
Nah yang di
so much better
FMPS
than
gue
we
gak bisa
could
nonton nih
anticipate
yang jam
in
3.
the downtime that they have had.
Gue bisa nontonnya yang di RX
That
Talon.
is a very unknown quantity, but
Soalnya
maybe
gue
this
kuliah
will
besok.
bite me in the rear. Maybe it'll bite all of us in the rear here. We're basing our predictions on past achievements.
Tapi Rabunya kayaknya nggak bisa gue kerja.
We are going off the expectations of these players and of
Kapan deh, kan
our
Alex,
coach
kapan-kapan
Alex
lah.
as that guy.
Oh hari ini
who
lu
really pumped the brakes
gabut.
and get
Iya
that
gue
mental
gabut hari
reset
ini.
mid-game.
Listen, my
Oh,
rear has
ada
already been
apa-apa.
thanks to GENG actually, so I might as well just go along with the GENG ride here. But I love that you brought up the coaching.
Halo Rudy.
I love that you brought up
Anjir
the
lah.
coaching thing because I keep thinking
Tapi
the
sibuknya
actual kryptonite to
emang
this
nggak
kind of
megang HP
movement
gitu
for
ya. Gue
paper
sih
versus
juga
opponents
maunya Alex
is that
dikabarin ya.
Alex just knows when to pump the brakes and he knows
Kalau
when
sampai
to
seharian nggak
reset. We saw this
dikabarin,
at
kayaknya
AEW. T1
emang
came out swinging on Sunset
rada-rada deh
with the
ada
Euro.
something's off
Paper
anjir.
X just looked lost like they've never
Kayak
been
cantik gabutnya
before. It was
WP.
6-0 or something like that.
Ih, gue
Alex
lagi
just
rajin
punched
WP
both timeouts
dikatain. Gue
back-to-back.
nggak
And
nge-stream
suddenly it just
diomongin
flips and
juga,
T1's
gila
like,
ya.
well, we've run out of options. We don't know what to do. And
Stream
even
dari
after the
kampus
game, I
nggak sih?
talked to the players. The
Gimana
vibe was like,
caranya?
T1 looked scary. Like
HP.
they looked strong. Saya's firing
Udah
on
mulai
all
kuliah ya, gue minggu
cylinders. But
depan.
at the end of
Gue udah mulai dari
they still
Januari.
won pretty handily.
Yeah,
Januari
I feel
awal,
like we're
Januari,
actually
iya
not
Januari
going to be
awal.
seeing the same
Rabu
paper
kerja,
X
ya
that
Rabu
we did in
kerja.
2023. I'm actually prepared for
Rabu
maybe a
kerja.
paper X
Gue minta
that's
Kamis, cuman nggak bisa katanya.
slower, maybe not as aggressive.
That's
I mean, that
Rabu
might be
kerja,
that might be a
Kamis.
bold prediction on my end. I'm not saying that it's not
Kamis kayak nggak ada
exactly a
apa-apa
bad
deh.
paper X. It might
Sure,
be a new
sure.
one. It might be
Jumat
actually
kuliah,
something with, like, a little
Sabtu
bit more control.
kerja.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what
Gue
kind
bisa
of
WP
combos
sih
they're gonna be
sebelumnya.
coming through. Because if they're going to be running the Yoru quite a bit with Forsaken maybe picking that up if not
Minggu
somebody
ada
else,
apa ya?
then I
Minggu ada
could
apa-apa.
see the aggression continuing from this team. But ultimately, the Yoru,
Minggu
that
WP.
sort of involvement,
How's
that
life,
could just come down
Jasmine?
to the map
And
draft.
also the question of a
Okay,
lot of people
I
still seem to
think
favor
it's
Raze
just
on a lot
okay.
of these maps, and
How
something
about
is obviously
yours?
much more known for his Jet. We even saw him
Cewek
piloting
lu
the
lagi
breach a
deket
couple
sama
times, a
cowok lain,
fracture in
Bang.
the past. Now
Siapa?
can't go on Sunset
Cewek
in
gue
the
siapa ya?
offseason, so
Gue
does
Yunjung.
something flex a bit more? Is he gonna
Han
go to
Sohee.
the Forsaken school of Valor, where he's just
𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮𝘮.
picking up every Asian and firing his
𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮.
gun more than his utility?
I mean, that's the thing,
Ayu.
is you do have that guy that's right there that
Siapa yang
can
mana?
teach you everything you need to know about playing
Sure.
an agent.
Suara MC
Forsaken's
kecilin
got
dulu dikit.
so much depth
Gede
to
banget
it,
ah.
so if you're going to have any kind of mentoring, it's about the best person in the world that you possibly could. And for Paper
Solo
X,
anjir,
building
William.
something into a bit of a Demon 1 where he can go overplay things
Yes.
like the Astra, play Breach, etc., would just further just embolden this team. So that's actually a really scary prospect. And if it's something that
Cek
they have
Jing
been
live di
working on
Twitch. Oh, dia
since
live
the
juga.
ABL concluded, then
Nggak ada,
this
mana?
could be very. If something is able to play
Nggak ada
a
sih,
couple
ada
other
spicy.
roles at the same time, I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Basically, we're not sure what to expect at this point. We could be
Sure,
going up
I know.
against.
Anjing, nggak ada Jing.
I mean, first
we
game for
don't know.
Paper X, right? And they've been hiding it quite a bit during the
Ada.
offseason as well, even giving more
Ibu
chances
ya?
for Jing to kind of show his stuff one last time on a couple of those games. And that was great to see.
Oh, bukan Lelik, tapi
therefore,
sendiri. Oh.
I mean, Solo mentioned it in the
Salah.
interview, like, well, we just
Sama
don't
just
have
okay
teams
juga.
to
Thank you for
study.
asking.
We don't know what
You're
they're going to come out
welcome.
with. We don't know what this core
Semangat,
five looks like
semangat.
on Paper X.
Dica sama Wilson nggak sih?
Expecting, like you said, Mika,
Aduh,
like,
jangan,
is it a
jangan. Ntar gue
slower
digoreng-goreng
versus
anjir.
even
Males gue.
faster? Like,
Sama
are they
om-om tua
flexing
itu.
everybody 'cause they have Mind Freak trying to Sova on a couple maps
Capek-capek
as
gue
well?
ngobrol sama dia.
It's just a mystery.
Nggak
I
dulu,
think
nggak
it's
dulu.
one of the biggest mysteries that we're gonna have here in
Ih,
Pacific,
mau
right?
ini,
What kind of direction are
Wingman.
people going to
Wingmannya
get
lagi
today,
minum.
especially since this is
Eh,
their
lucu
debut
banget.
for 2024 on
Alah,
the Pacific
Joshua.
League stage, and I feel like
Rabu nobar
everyone
lagi
here
apa
is
enggak?
very excited.
Rabu gue
Also really
kerja,
excited to see
cuman
Gen G
nggak tahu
have
ya
up their
kerjanya jam
sleeves right
berapa.
now, especially since
Gue sih minta ya kalau bisa pagi aja sampai siang, jadi jam 1 gue bisa WP. Lagian di RRQ WP-nya
to Masters Madrid, Achilles.
pagi-pagi banget, apa nggak malam sih?
Obviously want that. It'd be stupid to say that there's a team out there.
Info IG yang milih janji.
Paper X coming off the back of
8%.
narrowly missing out on a trophy.
Coba juga kita sama
Not
Lik.
being able to push it all the way to a
Emang
game
iya?
five,
Enggak,
getting
ini
that second
beda
place, the
pasti.
biggest event that we
Iya
have
sih.
ever held. That is going to leave that kind of bittersweet feeling in your heart. And no
Tulisannya apa
matter
bahkan
how
gue
much
nggak tahu.
you reset, you don't think about the
Nggak tahu
past,
yang
that
Malik.
is still gonna be
Kalau
really
misalnya dia
great
jam
for
5
yourself.
sore, gue
So, I think
bisa.
for them,
Gue kerja
being
cuma
able to
sampai jam
come here,
4.30.
straight over, qualify
Terus gue
for
pulang
Masters,
setengah jam
and then
langsung
go on
WP.
to win the trophy, that would be a
Nggak
great
dijual
way
kayak
to
itu Wingman.
rectify the
Kayaknya
shortcomings
enggak
of the
deh.
past.
Yeah, and of course also getting first place in
Kayaknya sih
kickoff
kagak ya.
early championship points as well.
Waktu
So
itu gue
that's one step
dikasihnya
closer towards champions. Then you go to Madrid. If you win
ultinya,
there, you get
anjir.
4 points as well. So you kind of have a
Wingmannya nggak
safety
dapet.
spot to go all the way to champions now in Seoul for 2024, and that would be the absolute best start for Paper X.
God, I'm looking so much. I'm looking so forward to just all of the
Ya Allah, lucu
absolutely crazy
banget.
Reddit posts, the Charlie Kelly meme of like, this is,
Oh yeah.
this is how
Main
Sentinels get
plushy,
championship
plush.
points. This is how they're gonna make it over.
Valorant.
If
We
they
should do
continue
that
going
to
down.
this board. We
There
should
you
do
go.
that to
Yeah, we
this board
should
one
just
day.
keep
Start
track of
recording
Jual
all
lagi.
of this thing.
By the time kickoff
Udah
ends, you're
jual.
gonna see all of this covered in like our notes and everything. There's like some
Valorant
extra
nggak ada
here
kayak
and there.
official merch-nya
It's
gitu.
inevitable. I mean, every single team out there that has a fan,
Lucu
there are gonna
banget.
be people who are
Ini juga
trying
lucu
to do the
sih.
math and figuring out like this is
Ini
where
kayak
they can
Cimei
get
dapet
this.
ini deh.
Well, that's what
If they
keeps
do
it
that,
interesting.
and this team loses, then blah 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 blah, and then somehow it'll still come down to MIBR getting a knife to deny.
And yeah, and a coach playing it, and the coach brings some.
Oh, ambil si Jeng kapan sih? Iya, kemarin masih WP. Gue juga bingung kan pas gue. Ini orang kok masih WP aja? Bisa kali main 1 season anjir. Jersey yang pink mana? Belum ada. Gue gak dikasih kemarin.
league stage, and I feel like for
Kemarin
Gen G,
katanya masih
this is
sampel,
going to
nanti
be
bakal
a
dikasih
tough
Februari atau
timeline
Maret
to
katanya.
short the
Gue
straw,
nggak tahu,
so to say. It's
belum
like,
ada kabar.
we're up against
Nomor
Paper
Papa
Rex
Ben
this
Kai.
time around, right?
I mean, group of
Apa
death, like
Ben
Solo
Kai,
said, I
udah
think
pindah ke
everyone would
GE.
agree for this, whether it's RRQ or Gen G, it's a group of
Dong
death no
siapa?
matter what.
PRX
And the biggest
dong.
thing is I don't
Dia
know
juga
if
nggak
Gen
mau
G
putus,
necessarily
sudah kenal
has
keluarga
much
deket,
of
jadi
a
kayak menurut
home
kita
crowd
better
buff
perbaiki ya.
either,
Cuman gue bingung
because
aja how.
PRX has gained a lot
Ngomongin
of
dong.
fans in
Oh, yeah.
Korea,
Communication
over
is the
especially
key.
after last year lifting
Kayak
that
Tris dulu,
trophy
Min.
over DRX and then going and representing Pacific all the way to the grand finals of
Anjir lah,
champions.
ngedelik
Even the
live-nya kok
Korean fans are
ciang-ciang.
like, PaperX is where it's
Kenapa?
at, right there in the
Emang
reps
kan
of
PRX
Pacific.
mainnya
So
ciang-ciang,
Gen G
jadi harus
has a
live
lot of
ciang-ciang.
work cut out for 'em.
No, they really do.
Lama
I think
berapa tahun? 2 tahun kan?
makes me
Biasanya.
very much consider something that I haven't really put that much thought into because it just
Tapi nggak tahu ya SG berapa lama. Oni di mana? Oni. Oni siapa?
Do we see the back-to-back champions within Pacific itself, or is there going to be a change-up? You know, does somebody else ascend to the throne? If it's not DRX, who else is it going to be? So I think it's just neat to think about all
Ini
of
apa
the
sih,
teams that
Wamil?
we've seen so far. Who is going to be
Ya, kalau misalnya
it's nowhere close to
Orang
what we
anjir.
expected coming into the season. You know, we've been on
Halo,
Parrot,
live
we've been
thing.
on Flat Chat, etc.
Wake
People
up,
have been doing their own
halo,
power
Kira.
rankings and stuff. We have
Beda
been
kalau Singapura.
so far
Cuma setahun ya
apart
Singapura ya?
already within the first 2 days. And things
Tapi Singapura nggak lama deh.
with a little bit more time, maybe things do settle into that kind of pattern that we had
Kalau
laid
temen
out.
gue di Thailand
But
kayak
for right
cuman
now, it seems like
seminggu kayak cuman 4 kali gitu, nggak tiap hari,
second all the way down
sambil
to 11.
sekolah.
Yeah, and the big thing is again, that's off the back of a lot of these
Tapi
new
cowok di sana
faces,
doyannya
right?
touch up.
Where we heard some hype about some of them, but the question always remained, but how do you
Well.
perform against the other T1 teams and players?
Tapi
Right? How do
kalau
you
nggak
perform
jadi
against
MC,
other
mana
Pacific
bisa
teams?
gue MC,
And
gila.
now, for someone like Karen, it's like, well, how do you perform against
Diem doang lagi nanti gue.
PaperX out of all
Delay
teams
ya.
that you'd have to face in your very
Jam berapa
first
sekarang?
week of debut in the
Jam
VCT?
1.
He
Agak sih
He has
harusnya.
to prove himself, just
Aman.
like 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 has, just like Governor has, and of course they've played in challengers as well. But
Ya beda-beda soalnya orang kan emang mau perang.
I've been ready for this. I've been coached through this as well.
SK kan cuma setahun deh.
Those are some veterans who have played against the PRX boys quite a few
Kayak
times.
di tag post delay
and
6
he
jam.
has to be able to hold his ground.
Kalau itu sih kayaknya gue off stream ya guys. Kalau nggak salah tag post lagi. Pusing anjir, lama banget. Terus bingung caranya, kayak butuh inspirasi dari orang-orang itu gue. Harus ngobrol lah berdua. Gak bisa inspirasi dari orang-orang lu yang ngejalanin. Kan lu yang pacaran berdua ya, harus selesain dulu gak sih? Ngobrolin aja gimana, kenapa gak ngabarin, emang sibuk apa aja, segala macam. Masa sampai gak bisa ngabarin, gak megang HP emangnya. Satu harian gak megang HP.
Yes, and that's so exciting, right? I think that's something that Pacific as
Apakah
a
Dino
region
bakal
has been
hamil?
starving for, quite frankly, because there just wasn't as much history in growing up new talent in a game like Valorant. But just in the last 2 years, we've seen a surge coming up. So, I mean, this
Bikin
is
lu smart
exciting.
kuliah
That
apa,
it's
Lik?
not just
Tuh,
like
di sana
one
ganteng
country
ya?
either, across the different countries, whether it's academy players, whether it's challenger league players, whether it's unknown
Enggak
recruits
sih.
like Karon, we're seeing teams
Nggak
scout
suka
out
apa.
new talent and
Cowok
bring them up to
ganteng.
the big stage.
Yeah, it's very much flipping the script as far as the expectations are concerned.
Duh,
because
nggak
a
tertarik
lot
sih
of
gue
us,
lebih suka cewek-cantik
most
kayaknya.
people in general, you'd think, okay, well,
Tapi
this team is
bikin gue
just
semangat
built
kuliah,
so
pengen
many
lulus
recruits
aja
that
sih.
haven't played at tier 1, they're probably going to take some time to get together.
Ngapain gue kuliah lama-lama bayar lagi?
Synergy to be built up for them to really find their footing and get used to being on stage in front of
Mending
an
lulus,
audience.
cepet-cepet.
And that's just been completely subverted. You know, everybody's come out here.
Lu jangan masalah cinta pengalaman yang banyak ya, men. Kagak, anjir. Cuman ya, logikanya ya gitu gak sih? Jam segini belum ban pick map, bener juga. Masih lagi apa lagi ini? Saya nggak ready sama tag toss bang. Aduh, tadi lah, oh banget.
솔직히 작년은 이제 더 이상 생각하기
Sama mantan
쉬운
ada berapa?
시즌이 아니었나 생각합니다.
Mantan pacar cuma satu sih. Kalau PDKT 3 kali, 4, 3-4 PDKT. Dasar INTJ terlalu logika. Ya no shit anjir, realistis. Kemarin ada semester 9. Udah yang terakhir, tugas akhir 3-4. Ya Tuhan Yesus, 3 atau 4? 3 atau 4? Woi, jangan nama-namain, gila lu semua. 3 atau 4? Yang nggak jadian kemarin gimana? Yang nggak jadian kemarin? Nggak jadian kemarin siapa anjir? Gila ya?
very
3
excited.
atau 4. Mandi like gue udah habis mandi. Gue habis keramas sih, rambut gue masih basah dikit.
I think everyone is a key player of the team. The team 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮𝘮𝘦, the chemistry has been in an all-time high. Kickoff will be the
Rambut gue
perfect
masih
start for us to prove
lepek.
ourselves and show our potential.
Habis mandi.
Before the kickoff,
Terakhir PDKT kapan? Ih, kepo.
completely a different team now. We're gonna show you guys the new RX.
Mas mau lagi bilang aja 10 gitu. Enggak, Jir. Enggak.
We can
Kan
be
jadi
a lot
layangan
more
tuh 4
aggressive,
tahun,
not
1.
caring about what others say and just play
Terus
my own
gue
game.
suka orang lain, 2. Terus gue pacaran. Pacaran kan 1. Terus PDKT lagi sama orang. Nggak pacaran. 3. kuliah 1, 4.
슈핑 내에서는
5.
피지컬이 압도적으로 좋은 것
4.
같고 다들 기대하고 보셔야
gue ya
될것
gini streamer ngantuk bukan 3, 4. 3 atau 4 anjir.
行くっていう気持ちでできてますね。
Kenapa cuma deket doang men, nggak tembak soalnya.
I'm super excited to showcase
Terus
myself.
kalau sekarang kayaknya masih belum mau pacaran
I
deh.
have no fear about Diablo.
Terakhir PDKT sih ya emang nggak pengen pacaran aja sih. Dan nggak ditembak juga. PDKT sambil pacaran tuh gimana, gila ya? Gue mendua 4, 5.
손에 꼽을 정도로
Masih gila dah.
재미있었다라고 생각이 들 정도로 재밌게 준비를 했었고 이번 시즌 T1은 자유로운 스타일을 가진 팀이 될 것 같아요. 이제 경기 시작하면은 누가 진짜 잘하는지 볼 수 있을 것 같아요.
Ada yang ngantongin Alex parah banget. Aduh, namanya hidup.
Unique strength of our team. We don't care who we face and we don't care how hard it is. No matter what happen,
We will always win.
everyone
Halo,
knows
Winata.
that we're the champion last year, but I
Kode
think
siapa, Lek? Gue
this
jadi
time
merasa
we will
terpanggil buat
be
tembak.
more stronger than before.
Ini deketin cewek cantik mau nggak mau? Jadi temen ya? Gue masih menyukai lawan jenis anjir, gila. Tapi cewek cantik tuh lebih menarik daripada cowok ganteng anjir.
진짜 이번에는 정말
맞고.
저희가 이길 거예요.
Anjay. Keren banget sih tapi productionnya, Riot. Deng. Wow. Lo clingy nggak, Lek? Enggak. No. Nggak clingy at all. Aduh, gila seru banget. Fuck man.
After a wave of changes, stronger teams were waiting in the wings. Starting today, teams will face elimination.
Gue juga mau deketin cewek cantik. Anjir.
It's time to meet our Pacific
Usaha gila ya.
It's time to showcase the might
Ya,
of
Aaron urusan ya sih.
𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘬𝘮.
Kok gak ada yang tepuk tangan sih? Oh ya, bagus. Monyet. Ayo guys, semangat. Bajunya glow in the dark anjir, lucu banget. Cahya. Ya, cahya. Kenapa sih gue pengen magang monyet? Halo Ilham. Gak usah ngatain kita dong. Ih, kan nickname-nya monyet. Oh, lucu banget. Lucu banget. Ini lucu banget. Dia begini sepanjang jalan anjir. Karena gue panggil lu babi. Ikan nickname gue Alik anjir, bukan babi. Gila ya. Fluorescent. Bener. Fluorescent. Subuh live lagi, hah? Gila, enggak. Tidak, terima kasih. Jersey RRQ glow in the dark like enggak. Jersey RRQ kayak Doritos. Oh, very cute. Let's go boys. Kacamata semua Alik mabok ini. Tebak skor. Nebak skor. Aduh. 11-13? Tapi enggak deh, kayaknya lebih rendah daripada 11 deh si ininya, janjinya. Berapa ya? 8? 9? 8 kali? Udah 8 nanggung tapi 8 kali ya? 8-13 deh. 8-13. Pas gue janji. Pas gue PRX dong. Indo Pride-nya mana, Chan? 8-13. 13-10 asik sih.
Well, now going into our map bans for 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘵 versus GENG. This is going to be so interesting because we have two teams that can be very flexible, right? 𝘭𝘪𝘬 pretty much everybody's expecting something flexing already, and we have Meteor and 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦 that are able to flex as well for the side of GENG. So as we were saying, we're not sure what agent composition we're going to get, but these maps are going to be pretty determinant of that.
Man.
Get maybe a better idea as far as what they're going to be piloting, especially if GENG has any kind of repeat maps that do come up. When they played against RQ, we saw Icebox split as well as Sunset. But okay, GENG going to be bringing up Breeze, so we will get a new look on this squad. Big question is, do they play Yoru?
Yeah, but if they do, that is something that GENG actually has.
GENG Breeze.
And if it's not
GENG pick Breeze anjir. GENG harus banget 3 orang. Ini 3 lawan 1 nih si Alex. Sian sendirian. 119 biar kayak jangan anjir muntah nontonnya. Capek anjir.
Not something I believe that Texture's really played. Maybe
Xbox GENG GG bro.
In his career, but
pengen lihat
none of them
tapi
really spring to mind. But
sekelas PRX.
This just feels like maximum comfort.
Udah aja lah Xbox. Bagus tau Xbox warna biru.
So GENG could have, you know, and will have had done a lot of stuff.
Tadi bilangnya minta cepet tapi maunya close game. Minta cepetnya 2-0. Gak usah 2-1 lah. Tapi kan kalau map 1 nggak sengit kayaknya kurang gitu. I gotta go. Thank you for the stream. Bye-bye, Priya. Nice day. Alex PS3. Yang lihat PRX kalah gitu, menang kocak. Berantem ya. Next was everybody.
Yeah, I mean we saw them, you know, versus Sentinels, and they did make that a pretty close one in the grand final.
Sunset seru sih. Gue suka Sunset, gue paling suka Fracture sih. Aduh, Fracture udah nggak ada, kangen anjir. I like it so much.
But have they changed anything is the big question. But as we get ready to focus on
ya udah langsung habis formatnya 119 seru gila kayak banget gue suka.
And meanwhile, we have Astra for Karon as well for GENG. And I mean, I'm actually okay with this. I think if you're gonna play double controller, there's some options for that Astra as well, especially because you have the Cypher to really anchor down one site. But the single duelist Yoru for 𝘭𝘪𝘬, I mean, we've seen again. Yes, and triple control as well, right?
Ya gue lebih nggak bisa melihat monyet sofa sih.
A lot more aggressive now, so he's going to be acting as kind of that secondary duelist alongside the Yoru. Both of them able to actually enter in very different angles than you're used to.
That means that with this matchup right here, a single duelist Breeze will finally get a win. The question is, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be the Jet or is it going to be Yoru here from the side of 𝘭𝘪𝘬?
So far, we have
only seen success.
Pokemon, sorry, Pokemonnya lupa anjir.
Well, what says duelist better than no Sentinel composition, right? That is definitely W Gaming. So let's get this first match started. 𝘭𝘪𝘬 versus GENG. Over to him.
Sorry. Lupa.
It's Azurai.
Mau ikutan doi.
Hey, it's me indeed, and with Quack.
Halo Vessel.
Man, time to bring your face masks. It's gonna get a lot smoky here on Breeze. Triple controller, my man,
Anjir,
on
𝘭𝘪𝘬.
That is super interesting. I mean, we've never really seen this being pulled out from this
Tiga
team
anjir
before.
controller.
But apart from that, also something on the Yoru I think is a little bit worth mentioning. But of course, we have seen how strong GENG was yesterday. We can see and we can expect a lot from Texture. Are they going to do the same thing?
Bakal ini.
Absolutely. Now, looks like 𝘭𝘪𝘬 is going to be starting to spread their wings a little bit all across the map. And this is, I think, the good thing about that triple controller comp is you do have so many options to blot a good chunk of a big map such as this Breeze.
Especially on the attack, right? Just having 3 sets of smokes to cycle through. You can see that they already sent out a high tide across A. It creates a bit of pressure, but at the same time, it's still a bit of damage towards this B site. I think GENG gets a bit of information.
Yeah, haven't committed to toxic wall yet, so not really too much has been shown here by the hands of PaperX. There it is.
There we
1
go.
minute on the clock. There's still so many options that they can choose for, and I think they're just making sure that GENG
Punya urusannya sekarang anjing.
stars for the start.
Apart from that, also just with the gate crash that something is using, you know, they're going all over the map. But here it comes.
Yeah, Tripwire on that A site.
Kelihatan.
This is the Yoru though, so he can't bypass it. Needs to break it. Munchkin has been
Udah
given
in,
up already. Right in front of him. 2 on the contact
Sudah
point. It's
dapat lagi. Oh,
good.
nice banget.
Finds another.
Wah, bisa
They've
nggak?
already
Observer,
secured
anjir.
A site in the blink of an eye. Rest of GENG will have to go on that rotate back to the A site, but look at how far
Dafainya
Davai
mirip
has pushed
sih.
up on Halls here. He's the first Vanguard for the moment.
Ah, Dafai!
He's gonna go down, but at least he's got that information for the rest of PaperX.
Yeah, it was a good hit nonetheless, and you know they know that there are players coming
Yang
from Bridge,
bener cuma
coming
Jason.
from Halls, and that just confirms a lot of it.
Okay, dash in. That's just very aggressive into this as well as uber confident, but of course, PaperX just going to be playing that post plan. Something coming around the corner, repositions, has to help out his team. Right at the precipice of the smoke. From Dexter. Wow. 5 bullets, dash right in. Finds another one, and he picks up the 4K.
No way! First round, already picks up the 4th. You see how he has that trigger discipline. I mean, normally we talk about trigger discipline. You're, you know, hiding, waiting for the opportune moment. He's just waiting to track as the movement slows down. And that is unbelievable skill.
Real gacha anjir.
Punish from that one too. You'd think that that smoke would actually help out PaperX, but
Texture sih.
did absolutely nothing for him. As Texture basically got a lot of these segmented 1v1 fights in the span of just a couple of seconds, ultimately turning the hand for GENG.
And now they've picked up the Bulldogs. You got an Outlaw on Texture. He's looking to pick up the Bladestorm early on.
Oh, he wants to go for this insta peek on A main. PaperX, will they give him the satisfaction? It's getting closer. His teammates breaking and giving as much support as possible. And one gets down already.
I mean, that's the other thing,
Aduh,
right?
nih,
Because it's
skinnya
an
jelek
Outlaw.
banget.
It's just so powerful. Anything on an eco round, it just
Mapnya
shoots right
GENG.
through. So these guys, PaperX, they gotta be
Abis
so
ini baru
careful.
Lotus si ini.
You can already see one spawning the tripwire outside of B main. Still, it's not going to stop PaperX from starting to move their forces all the way here. Looks like they're just okay with that. Device
Tadi gua
still
berapa
hasn't
sih?
gotten any
13.8
contact with
ya?
the Sheriff that he's bought in the past 2 rounds.
13.10 deh,
That's a little bit
13.10.
iffy. With the stars
Baru
being
satu map
committed here as well,
udah
Texture
gabung
actually
meja.
all the way up on the
FYI,
mid. This could be very bad for
GENG
PaperX.
garis
despite
kelas,
the
easy for GENG. Diam!
Reloads. They know he's here. They don't really want to challenge him. It's way too risky. So they're running out of options. You can't go back into Elbow. You can only, you're pretty much stuck inside of B main. Texture, well, Tailwind's away, so maybe got a bit of breathing room, but 30 seconds left, Aserai.
Something's going to just try to make something happen. You know, no pun intended.
30 seconds
Make some contacts here. Does have his great crash available. He wants to challenge out, get the Outlaw Texture, but when it's 140 body shot damage and you have shield or half, it's just not going to work. You're just feeding him the kills, and now he's
Ace coy.
an ace. 2 rounds in to the first map of this game.
Wow, that's just a big boost of confidence for Texture starting things off. I mean, yesterday he said he was hangry. Today, I don't know what he's on, but this is a whole new look. Bladestorm already available. I mean, the other thing is also just, you know, PaperX, they had Sheriffs. They're just trying to maybe go for some picks or the spike plant. Couldn't really find anything, and that's a little bit surprising.
There's so many players, I think, in this 2024 Pacific League that is on their revenge arc, right? Like Lenny.
Jadi 13 nggak ngelik. Gila lu. Bayar anjir menang.
Was mentioning not having any opportunity to showcase his duelist, but here comes the dueling potential for something as he pushes up onto Orange. Any tricky business? Spots one, getting into the astral dimension. Goes out, flashes. He's still challenging something. He's got to make something happen here, and he does get it. Follow up by Monyan, but Karon's holding on. 3 versus 3. Spike planted down.
You got the Cascade up as well, so there's a lot more room for Seiken trying to play around this, pushing GENG back. They want to burn down the timer, and they want to stay alive as long as possible.
Yeah, Munchkin's coming around the corner here on double doors. They're just waiting for him to drop down already. Forsaken's right here for the first contact, but gets punished by Meteor. He's going to be alone by himself. 1 versus 1 though. Dubai, unknowing of where his opponent might be, not spotting Meteor, getting closer and closer. He might not even know about this. There it is. More utilities for Meteor. So it's a straight up start of the defuse. Dubai
Nice banget Dafai anjir.
will be winning the gamble on the peak.
Yeah, you got the advantage of the spike. Might as well just hang back and, you know, play it loose and easy. And at the same time, I mean, you gotta love the utility that PaperX uses. You
Makan
can see
belum,
that,
Ci?
yeah, you know,
Udah
3
tadi.
controllers,
Makan
you
gudeg
got Mindfreak on the
deh.
solo
Boy, mana
line.
Azes
This
ini?
might not be W gaming,
Arsa ya?
but
Arsa
it still
anjir.
very much is. The
Gua
dimensional
udah makan
drift gives
gudeg
them so
tadi.
much space. Monyet is already there, kind of like what
Kreditnya
Will
gila
said on the
sih.
desk. That secondary duelist, instantly trading back and forth for the entire team. And with that, you know,
Dapat 3.
spike down,
Nice
it's tough
banget,
for Gen G
gila.
to retake in such situations.
True, but they do
Rex
love
masih
their
turun.
first contact.
Belum
Texture
panas.
is already on this operator.
Baru face
There's not
Karon.
really much utility that can really
Oh,
punish him, but
shit, nice
okay,
trick.
gravity will activate it, stuns as well, and that's gonna be as the dust settles, 2 kills down against Gen G. PaperX have somewhat of an advantage here. Oh, still pushing through.
What the
With
fuck?
a double kill. And Mindfreak is alone by himself on
Weh.
halls.
I
Sabar,
can't
sabar,
believe
sabar.
that he reacted to that so quickly. I
Bang,
thought the
udah
cascade
bang.
would at least mask PaperX's intentions for just a second, but he reacts just as quick.
Shit, man. PRX setelah didukung Bang Alek, kurang ajar gue yang kena.
Punishes. Mindfreak's given
Oh,
away.
shit,
Of course,
man.
Texture's not gonna miss the beat.
Belum panas, antoy,
Rex have
antoy.
been wanting to get this aiming control for the
Halo
longest
Nabil.
time, but the smokes, man, the peek outs and the flashes,
Except
just
GG anjir.
even though they have the triple controller, it
Karon sih
doesn't
tadi
seem
gila.
like you know,
Dapat 3.
it's giving them any leeway.
Yeah, not yet. That's the thing. I mean, the smokes are still just smokes, and without the flashes, dude, Karen was just popping off in that round.
Gimana Lek
Round
tanpa
5,
Jing
this
nih?
guy has 6 kills already as a controller.
Gak apa,
Will
bisa,
is
bisa.
starting to foam at
Belum
the mouth.
panas aja, belum panas.
3-1. Yes, this is what I was
Kan
thinking,
dosong ini
hoping
mah.
about.
Janganlah, Indo Pride
Rex
gila.
still wanting to get that quick contact, feeding all the orbs for something. This is a pretty good idea, I'd still say, because if he does
61
keep
jir si
getting
Karon.
that dimensional drift
Oh,
of his,
gila lagi
does
sih.
give them
Texture
a lot
11
more
anjir.
access into the back of the site, but of course they still have to deal with this close contact that 𝘭𝘰𝘯 is setting up on A.
Laki ya.
Yeah, with the
Like
positioning
Africa.
that Gen G has, the
Gojir.
classic 2-1-2 split. Oh, actually, it's a 3-1-1-3
Belum panas,
split.
belum panas.
3 stacked up.
Antoy.
It's just a little bit tougher for PaperX to break through. You got the stars as well, and those are really, really annoying. So maybe trying to bait around it, trying to, you know, bait Karen into a peak. But then you also got to worry about texture in this op.
This is the problem about having a flash initiator. You just can't really flush out these set angles that they just break that. They just break that themselves. Anyways, hold on.
Aduh, aduh,
It's Karen and
nice
Texture
banget,
on that contact.
Dasar.
Forsaken pushes out, but Texture, he doesn't respect this wall. He just goes and swims through with the high tide, giving him a high time.
Sedih anjir, nice.
And now it's only Mindfreak and Divide to remain. The pinch coming in from double door doesn't secure anything, so that has to be Divide just putting up the toxic screen, hoping that Mindfreak could deal with Texture. It's not going to happen. He only has the Sheriff in hand. 3 versus 1, 20 seconds. He's going to have to start pushing in, but because of how much out in the open he is, he's going to be exposed to Meteor, and that's going to be the 4-1
Jing udah mulai
for
wamil ya?
Gen G are feeling
Gak tau ya,
fired
kemarin
up,
sih
having
masih
won those
watch
rounds
party.
against PaperX.
Masih WP
They're like,
anjir.
oh, you guys think you're the
2
kings
hari
of
yang lalu.
Pacific. Wait till
Hari
you
ini
see
nggak
what
tahu.
we've got. I mean, this Gen G, Texture on the op, Karen popping off with kills. They are able to play these anti-flash positions on the A site, no matter what PaperX throws at them.
Nggak apa-apa, good
idea
equal,
of
good
going in
equal.
for an execute like that off of,
PaperX mati
you know,
kutu.
something on the Yoru, you've got
Kacau,
Monyet on the
kacau.
Paranoia with the
Gak
Omen.
nyangka
It's
anjir.
just not quite landing as it needs to.
Live itu Jing,
usually
oh
talk
Jing
about
live.
win conditions and ideally what your team
Oh
would
ya, ini
want
live.
to
Belum military anjir.
use in these situations to actually make it effective. We're already seeing what was lacking, and it feels like they need that bit of information on who's in the back of the site. The problem is the dart's not going to be good enough. Something's not going to always be at the back of
Kapan
the site.
Archie live? Lusa Raffi main.
And the
Alek marah-marah.
the scouting power of that dimensional drift. So what's going to
Tadi
be the
nggak
adjustment
ngeliat
here
jago
for
berak meja
PaperX?
sih.
What happens when they don't have those tools
I'm
available
from
for
Brazil.
them? When again, like you're
Goal.
mentioning, they're only really relying on the triple smoke to kind of blot out these certain positions.
Pacific
That's
ya?
not really making Texture afraid of holding
NA,
the
anjay.
spots and just using that table
Alek
to get
bisa
out of
main
harm's way.
halo nggak?
Yeah,
Bisa,
precisely, right? I
tapi
mean, that's the other thing.
mati.
It's just having those 3 smokes, 3 controllers.
Alek saudaramu
Surely
yang
it
like.
can be used to, you know,
Alek dan Alek
just
betul, 100
block
buat
off
lo.
vision and maybe,
Alek
you
nonton
know,
watch party dari Jing nggak sih?
block off
Enggak lah.
certain areas.
Nggak
Make sure
tahu
the
nih.
texture can't really, you know,
Dia pernah
dominate the
siapa?
map in his current
Kemarin dia
fashion.
sama orang
So
gitu,
whatever it
gue
is,
nggak tahu
you know,
siapa.
that's kind of what the desk was talking about. Alex loves to call these timeouts. He knows when to pause the breaks. And right now,
Semangat
we
live
shall
ini.
see what kind of effect
Semangat,
it has.
semangat.
Well,
My gacha texture dari kemarin emang jago sih dia. Oh my god.
Something doesn't waste any time though. He does use his ultimate to start clearing things up. Reckoning coming in from double doors, and he already finds one. Caron could be in a
Bunuh
world of
dia,
hurt. The flash is out
something.
out of harm's way. Back
Oh
to the side,
my
looking
god.
for Meteor, using the cyber cages to give him
Aduh, mati lah.
to
Oh,
roam
nice.
around. Something
Nice,
quickly
anjir.
deals with him, but Caron finds Forsaken through the off-cam kill. Oh, big flash
Flying,
from
flying.
Lakia. Oh, they don't even expect it.
He gate crashed backwards. I feel like Lakia might have
Fitri
heard it. So
masih
now
bisa,
everyone's
Bang.
kind of split up. Devi still up towards mid. It's a
si
good bit of
Aaron-
vision, but it's a 2-on-3
Si Aaron gak enak
nonetheless.
sih.
He can't use the Viper's Pit.
Yeah, Mindfreak is just by himself right now. I mean, there's even a smoke coming into double doors. They have really segmented
Nice
the two
banget,
layers of
anjir.
PaperX. But the buy, he's hoping to be the savior here. Mindfreak's been given up out in the open texture. He's got
nice
everything,
banget,
but the buy takes
Davai.
everything away from
Anjir,
him. And that's going to
Davai
give PaperX a round.
keep saving the day, anjir.
Making use of Mindfreak's position, keeping Devi hidden. They were able to pick them off apart. You know,
Texture
getting
tahun
information as to
lalu
where
main
Texture was
KJ. Hah,
positioned,
emang iya?
as to where the rest of them were trying to approach
Texture
from.
jago kemarin
They
yang
knew
digendong
how
harus
to find
harus
those shots.
gimana
And that's again
kabar?
something that PaperX can always do. But I think the
Anjir.
crucial thing in that
Yan,
round was
jangan gitu,
how
Mas
something
Korosi
used
udah
that dimensional
dikatain
drift,
sama
how he pushed up
semua
all the
umat di
way
bumi, anjir.
towards Orange, towards Bridge side. And from
Ya,
that
cepet banget.
point,
Iya,
he was
jadinya
able
ternyata
to find
cepet
that
banget
back
sih.
flank on towards
Ya,
Meteor. So
Paul.
that broke apart the A line
Dang,
of defense
nice,
for
Davai. Good,
Gen
good.
G.
That, and if I can add, you know, they spotted
Anjir,
Texture on mid, so
jantung.
the threat of the operators way
Davai
far.
hard
They actually
carry.
just start, you know, hunkering their way onto the A side, which ultimately, as you mentioned, you know, with what you said, works in the favor of PaperX on that push.
That's it, though. We still need a few more rounds. Both sides have ultimates. And Meteor has been such a menace. Now he's swapped up over back to B site. PaperX is trying to approach here.
Aduh, usir
He's already
ini.
preparing himself. Ooh, where did that shot come from? Meteor, I think, just shot through the
Action banget
smoke.
Monyet,
That's gonna be the
sumpah.
finish on Monyet.
Kayak belum main gitu dari
Waiting
tadi.
for the rest of PaperX to come
Timu.
through that B site. There's so many tripwires here.
Oh, nice
It
banget,
might get a
anjir.
little bit tricky,
Banyakin
but
mainin
something just
trap.
slowly walks up. That's all you need, you know? Just keep it simple, keep it safe.
And that's the thing about New Breeze as well. This backside, the back walls, you are able to sneak up on front like that. So now that the spike has gone down, Gen G are sensing that they don't quite have the timing on this retake.
Main fake kenapa inisiator? Iya, gue juga kaget kok.
It's going to be the first contact on this 3 waterfall down mid. He's already been spotted. Oh, Forsaken's not hitting any shots. Finally does able to do so.
Oh, nice, nice, guys.
Works out, leaving Texture
Nice,
by
guys.
himself.
Nice, bunuh OP-nya.
Time might not be one of them though, so
Oh, nice
he might have
banget,
to save
anjir.
up and
Nice,
Mindfreak
nice.
through the smoke or through the toxic
Dang.
screen, blasts
Ah,
away
Jordi.
something. Want to pick it up? Want to use it for attack? He will not. I was
I
talking
mean-
about the operator.
Yeah,
Monyet
maybe no outs for
27,
now, but
anjir.
you can
Kasian.
definitely feel the impact of Alex's timeouts already, right? Just
Raffi ini
how
udah
from the
14 kill ya.
previous
No
round,
shit,
now
anjir.
they've won
Round 2
2 in a
aja
row.
udah
And you
ace.
can see the clear idea and game plan, how they
Nggak
make use of
apa-apa.
these
Ntar
smokes, how they
di-
use
dibalap sama
something to
something.
really creep in, cut out space, and really block off and
Nice
cause a
banget.
lot of chaos for Gen G's
Timeout
defenses. So,
gantian.
wow. Counter timeout being called now by Gen G.
Aduh.
Yeah, they just, again, they're starting to lose grip from a 4-1 and already turns into a 4-3 very quickly to turn around for PaperX. Again, makes Gen G quake in their boots. And this is where I think it makes a lot of sense to, again, just take a step back first, because they were putting a lot of emphasis on using Texture as that big contact, but when he really can't find a contact, it feels like there's not a lot of options here for Gen G to kind of try to do something else on that defense. Sure, you get the offhand kill from time to time as they
Like
start
kapan
to
jadi pro
creep
player
up
RQ?
onto a certain position, but PaperX, I feel with the composition that they've had, they're
Nggak
so
bakal.
flexible at just getting those
Nggak bakal sih.
kills, even when it's a 4 versus 5 as they push up into
Gua
a side.
baru
Even
TP,
if it can be
bijir.
like a 3 versus 5 because of how many smokes they
panas
can keep
aja ini
utilizing
mah.
to block the sidelines of the players of Gen G.
Yeah,
Apa
that's
udah?
right. Not just that
3-4?
too, right? I mean, apart from
All good,
blocking
all
off
good.
sidelines, I love how they're
Pro player
using this
Tetris.
third controller,
Ya, gua main
Devi
Tetris
as the
aja lah.
Viper, as more of a
Habis jago
sentinel, as
Vala,
more of
jago
a
Tetris aja
lurker of
nanti.
all things. Because as soon as he
Kayak mau
deploys his
hilangin
toxic screen, he's like,
Jeff bikin salvat
I'm
cantik
good.
banget.
I
Ya
can hang
elah.
back towards mid, can get
Gila
further
lu.
information, try to cut
Pro
off
player
rotations as Gen
CS.
G tries to retake. And that
Pro
is
player
something that we've
CS.
seen him do a couple of rounds now. He is
Gua
that top fragger
lebih
for
jarang main
PaperX.
And
CS
additionally,
lagi.
I mean, if anybody pushes through that,
Main Tetris
you know,
apa Tetrio?
vulnerability as well
Nggak
as
tahu,
the
Tetris
decay
saya cari.
makes challenges or
Late
fights for
Tetris
him
terus
quite
langsung
easy.
keluar.
Anyways, PaperX
Ini
now
tumbal.
looking
Iya,
to
jir,
go
kesian,
for
sumpah.
that B site. They do have the shock darts, so they
Oh,
are
Candy
breaking as much
Crush.
utility as they
Oh.
can. And of course, yep, I love this. When you use the decoy, it activates the trip, so at least you'll know where not to push. Meteor is doing his damnedest to just again, dodge everything, but it's not working. It's a lot of kills already positioned here for @PaperX.
Oh shit man, nice.
Texture does make
Monyet dapat satu. Wah, nice.
And we are tied.
Eco, it's okay.
It is an anti-eco round after all, but what a bit of an execute. PaperX, you got the fake out, you got the smokes, and they knew exactly how to work against Meteor's setup. And that's the main thing.
Kunci rambut kayak video TikTok yang like
They want to figure out a way to
ribet
go
itu harus dikepang segala macam. Ini dapat 2 anjir. Oh enggak deh, 1 doang.
Something as the Yoru just cuts in space, he can, you know, break open those trips and create a bit of flashes for his team. And it just does so much. Sometimes GENG doesn't quite know how to react. So there definitely is some changes in terms of the defensive setup.
Texture is still committing on this operator of his.
11-4 anjir.
Something one away from the dimensional. Imagine just like as Texture
like,
seeing that out of the open, right? Anyways, he's already committed the tailwind, so might as well over push just in case he can get that again, that one-off kill if ever. Seems like because they spotted again Texture on B or
anjir, something ngambil ini tuh terus ya.
The whole enchilada on that B side.
Yeah, why not? We know we can avoid that off. We can just go straight for Meteor. We can go straight for Munchkin. Take out those two, and then we have the site. Seekers were deployed by Lakia though, and he's already here to reinforce. Something's trying to get that through.
Yeah.
Bang, kiri bang. Nice banget anjir.
Excuse me.
At least you get one.
Trying to find somebody inside the smokes, and it is so confusing to be in all of that positioning. Somehow, it is GENG getting on top of things. Monyet, no ultimate for him, so he's stuck here until Devi comes in. So he is waiting for his teammate to give him that assistance. 40 seconds on the clock, and this is a pretty smart move from PaperX now that they still have that toxic screen to block away that control at the back of the site, where you already see 𝘰𝘯𝘯𝘵 getting closer. He might not be spotted, as well as Texture coming in from B main.
Yeah, that's the main thing. They got to watch all exits, all entrances of this Viper's Pit. Texture could be the linchpin for GENG.
Nice.
As a shot denied, Shorty's good. 𝘰𝘯𝘯𝘵 picks up the 4K, able to isolate, able to feed off of the play. The Texture is giving him the opportunity to retake the site and secure the round once again for GENG.
Again, right? I mean, this guy, Karen, picked off this, I don't want to say streets, but the rookie coming out from like, almost nowhere, but proving himself again and again. You talk about firepower, PaperX has a lot of it, but GENG in this new form has picked up some new guns, some new shooters, and they are definitely
Absolutely. Not having any form of
𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦 terlalu dingin sampai lupa reload.
They were just going blind into calls that they wanted to do. They even saved the operator here for Texture, so he's got a chance again to find something. Not the player, but you know, the opportunity to get. I'm gonna have fun other than something to do this. Anyways, Parallel is activated. Texture's blinded here. He's looking for a TP, but Lakia is making some waves at the front of the site on
nice banget.
Fortunately, Texture's not going to find the PaperX Yoru. That's going to be a secure plant on the spike. Everyone else here for GENG looking for the lurk all the way through A main.
Oh shit man, Karon sakit anjir.
Still somehow Karen getting a tap onto something.
Karen dari mana sih?
That brings things back to a
Bukan
3-on-3.
kan dulu.
Of course, Mindfreak wanting to play off the Hunter's Fury, but he knows that there's a potential play coming through.
Another
Satu
one.
lagi bang.
Meteor gives himself a bit of space.
Bang.
Push left or right. What it's going to be? It's going to be the right. He wins, but he's down to 5. Oh, this is going to be so bad, difficult even for him.
Devi selalu finisher.
Devi bringing it back.
Very, monyet mati lagi.
Confusing fight
Jangan
there
salfok
for GENG.
anjir.
You just saw everybody.
Gak apa-apa, monyet ada tugasnya masing-masing. Tugas dia udah ngusir OP, udah very good, very good.
Smiling about that one. He's like, yeah, I remember there's PaperX
back in the day.
This is what they used to do. They orchestrate chaos. And that's exactly what they do. You got something, gate crashing in. He's got the fake out. It's so confusing for GENG as they try to defend. You're watching for so many pieces of utility. Not to mention Monyet, who kind of comes in with a shorty inside the smokes. And that's what he was known for back on Global Esports last year.
Having Lakia choosing whether he has to go for the gunfight or flash for
Kata gue sih A.
Texture here makes it even additionally difficult. He backs away. Look at how close something has already got on the top mid. TP's out.
Oh shit man. Oh shit man.
Just to break the tripwire, but at what cost? Forsaken He's already decayed down to 20. My goodness.
Yeah.
This man is walking on thin
1000
ice.
manusia.
It's got a little bit risky because GENG are trying to get a good read for the game
Nice.
right now. They've got these 4 players stacked
Close,
up on
close,
B,
close.
so able to shoot through. And with the space
Oh,
now,
nice
Lakia
banget,
pushed up
anjir.
walls, but not quite able to capitalize.
Oh, nice.
Look at how
Nice,
they
guys.
just left pieces
GG.
of the Paper Rex players all around the map sprinkled just to get those lurk kills, and it is actually working for them, especially that GENG is on this weaker buy. Feels like GENG is just pressured to try to get control elsewhere, but Paper Rex, it's a lure into their trap, man. They're just saying, sure, thank you very much. Texture, though, this is the perfect chance for him to get some kind of information, some kind of impact.
You wanted to say something, didn't you?
Aaron, the last man
I stopped
standing.
myself mid-sentence already, all right? You didn't have to point it out.
I feel yes, right?
Orang dari Korea,
I mean,
like,
it's
tim
just the
entry.
name.
I can already
Nggak
feel the
tahu.
chat, you know? How is this caster like this? No
Makanya tugas
vocabulary.
jadi tumbal.
Use a thesaurus.
Masih hidup.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Nggak mati 2 digit kok, tenang. Aman-aman. Masih 49. Apa dia nge-kill
He's
tadi?
gonna probably just wait till this event horizon engulfs him. Oh wow, he even finds money.
Kalian banget, baru ngomong
Rifle at the very least. Look at how he's so careful. Up against Forsaken, of course. It's going to be the tap that finishes him off. I mean, in this round, again, it's just kind of what we saw in the first, right? You know, Paper Rex can play around the entire map thanks to the utility of something.
Sekarang Jing diganti monyet. Iya, Jing diganti monyet.
They can rotate so easily. Sometimes GENG has to catch up to it.
Goodness, quick catch.
Jangan kacamata
Something
ganti
aggressive
bos.
team. As I
Dia
mentioned,
manjir
just
Lani.
playing the opposition lurks.
Sumpah kesian banget anjir.
Playing
Gue pengen lihat monyetnya dibunuhnya gimana anjir. Masa pakai ghost
It
dibunuhnya?
is pretty close though.
Gila
GENG
banget.
able to get this 5-6, could even be a 6-6.
Sian.
They play their cards right, but with
Monyetnya.
the Reckoning and Dimensional Drift activated, it could be very difficult. But Texture's
Ah,
already
anjir,
pushed them
anjir,
all
di
the way
sini,
to
coy.
elbow. They're not gonna know about this, but he whips. Thankfully enough, he has Locky right beside him to help him out. Paper Rex
Satu lagi, Bang.
dwindling in. No, he finds something with the
Nice,
Odin.
Aaron.
And he brings it right back, 3 versus 3. Plenty of walls. Can they calm
Oh, shit,
themselves down
man.
to plant the spike even? Not gonna happen just yet. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 has control of the back of the site here. Ultimate activated right now by Mindfreak. Big flanks coming in from Munchkin. So the time for
Nice.
𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 to make something happen is very
Aduh.
minuscule here. 2 versus 1. Charon now backing himself
Let's go,
away.
Monyet.
Gonna double
Your time to shine.
And this is the perfect time for them to try working their magic against the one.
What
is this
What
TP?
the hell?
Did he try to pick up a spike? No, he's
Anjir,
just trying to
anjir,
make
anjir.
position for the fight.
Aduh,
Very
nice try
but it's not gonna
anjir.
work out.
Inti monyet, it's okay.
Nice try, but Munchkin just
Kayak
turns
banget
around
orang
and says,
semua.
"Dude,
Tapi nggak
you
nyangka sih anjir udah ngeflank lagi anjir.
can pull off that flank."
Kahyadi nervous kah tim
How many
baru.
flanks did we see in that round? I mean, first of all, we had
Ini yang
Mindfreak
bikin
holding
Odin ada di
the
combo
angle
lagi.
with the Odin from
Emang
window.
haram gila.
Then afterwards, Munchkin coming back again from the same spot that Texture and Lakia approached from. I mean, it's just so confusing that Paper Rex, their whole game plan kind of gets thrown off. You can
Nice
see that
try,
what they wanted to
Kencana.
do throughout this
Udah half
entire
ya?
map, which truly was just either going for executes off of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 and something, or create a bit of noise, bait out that utility, and then rotate over thanks to their gate crash. Leave the Vi on that lurk. It doesn't always
Yeah,
work
that's
out
fighting.
if GENG just goes in for a bit
Menang-menang
of a
banget
fight,
nih.
a bit of a retake, and that's the thing that you don't really have without like a a proper-ish
Kelar,
sentinel. Yes,
ya.
the you got Viper, that's great, but no traps, no info.
Kayak marah-marah ya bang.
And again, it takes them a lot of time to just fiddle with their abilities, right? To throw it into a site. You already see how quickly, and you were mentioning this, again, Texture is just that
Lucu banget.
confident, that much of a risk taker that he is willing
Alexa,
to
kok jangan
see the
diangkat, Lik, lagi
limits or
marah-marah,
see the
iya.
chinks in the armor of the
Saudara gue
Paper Rex
lagi
setup. But now as
mengamuk.
we are flipping the sides here, the question comes into play. What is Paper Rex going to do on that defending side? Are they going to do something similar to what Talon was doing?
Ya ini mah Ararki kebagian PRX yang udah panas anjir.
Because they can't really
Nggak, menang. Genji menang. Genji menang, salah ngomong. PRX menang.
Good job on that Viper of his.
That's the craziest thing.
Genji jadi serem gini.
It's the W game
Jago anjir,
squad.
emang
You
jago.
expect them to push out. Now they've got 3 controllers, and Devi's the one doing all the fragging. So very curious to see how this will play out. I mean, you don't want to die too early on.
Lu lapar lagi, padahal gue baru makan.
Then you can't really use
Kapan
your
nggak doa? Salah
abilities.
ngomong anjir
So,
mulut.
Paper Rex has
Jelek
to be
nih
a little
mulut
bit
emang.
careful, a little bit mindful about how they want to push out if that is their game plan.
Speaking of pushing out, there's like 3 players of Paper Rex about to
Klip,
have the
salah.
welcome party outside of A main.
Sorry.
Smoke quickly placed there, as well as the
Biasa pertama dari hati.
Shock darts from Mind Freak to dissuade anybody pushing up onto the
Genji
Hall's
menangis
position.
maksudnya, bukan
Swing
menang.
out from PaperX, like I mentioned, because they don't have that sentinel, they have to start peeking and pushing, and as well as just
Nice
getting that contact. Shots through the smoke, able
banget.
to get 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦. The push out
Let's go.
from
Aduh,
Texture,
ya
and he
Tuhan.
finds
1 HP.
something.
1 HP.
Texture down to 25, but his lethality
Tolong
is
siapapun
still
sentil
very much
dia.
felt. Thus settling, numbers favoring GENG, 𝘰𝘯𝘮𝘮 as well as 𝘧𝘰𝘯𝘮𝘮. 𝘧𝘰𝘮 is already coming in for the flank here, and Texture, he's very much unaware of it.
He is holding a bit of an off angle though, so 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮 can't really just waltz right through that door.
On mid though, that's
Nice banget, monyet. Monyet, let's go monyet.
Does have the
Can do it monyet. Ya Tuhan Yesus, ya Tuhan.
Texture, that
Bang,
door
udah
closes.
bang.
The opportunity for 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮 is not even possible. Dude had
Ya Tuhan.
the so close yet so far away situation.
He opened the door again.
Okay, so his positioning's already given. He's pushing out, jumping through the
Aduh,
smoke
aduh,
smartly to try to
aduh.
get
Texture
off
di
that
belakangnya
sheriff.
lagi.
And this is the thing. Every single opponent of 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮 right now is low, so his sheriff has a lot of lethality on it.
Just one shot to the body. But look at the positioning.
Dia nggak bakal nyangka nggak sih Texture di sini?
And you can see that with how he's moving up here, that he wants to get close against 𝘂𝘮, but he's so afraid of where Texture actually might be, even thinking it could be mid.
I mean, he's got a bit of time, but Texture is the main one to look out for right now.
Did they just barely miss each other? Look at 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮. I think he heard the drop down too.
Wah, nice banget.
𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮, can he be? Really is.
𝘧𝘰𝘮 saves the day anjir.
Cool,
Nice 𝘧𝘰𝘮 anjir. Jantung gua 76 anjir �𝘰𝘮𝘮.
What is up?
Gila, carried.
He's got that sheriff. It's got the word danger written all over it, and he just clutches it out for the team. I mean, apart from being, keeping his composure, just knowing, okay, I have a rough idea where Texture is. As long as I keep my sights right up around door, I should be okay.
Gila.
But the main thing is also knowing that 𝘂𝘮�'s right around the corner. He is able to flick back and forth, now catching up to Texture in terms of kills.
He completely turned around W Gaming. It turned into an M.
Anjir.
Meditation, you know?
Yo, what, like
Nice
what,
one.
Wario kind of... What am I?
But I mean, dude is, I used the term yesterday, I think, zen. Very zen with how he approaches these fights. He's not impatient, like you mentioned. He has a lot of time to make use of. Anyways, big contact coming in from this one. Couple of marshals.
Wait.
What a risk from 𝘰𝘮𝘮 just to peek that out. Forsaken, though, dipping his toes as well into the swing game outside of A main. Oh, it's 𝘰𝘮𝘮, I love this. And he actually challenges, but Forsaken drops. This could be bad. If he re-challenges this once again, he's the only one holding the site for the moment here. And he has to back away, wait for the reinforcements as Mind Freak and 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮 are slowly creeping up back onto A.
Trades the Outlaw for a Bulldog too, just wants additional firepower. We've got a little bit of support from Mind Freak coming through halls just to check.
Endingnya tetap GENG, like enggak.
GENG are bunched up together. It's a full squad of classics and marshals. He hears the jump.
Nice banget anjir.
Gets the first
Lagi
shot.
Gets away too. So no trade here for Meteor. Throws out the recon dart for a bit of that safety. And he's home safe. Wait, no. Okay, now he's home safe.
GENG really just wants to wait for more picks and maybe try to soften up defenses, try to sneak through. But at this point, only 30 seconds left. They have to hightail it to B, and as long as Meteor can do the same thing that he's doing right now, GENG might have a better time in this round.
Oh shit, man.
Oh my goodness, Mind Freak couldn't really do anything. And the rest of GENG gonna be walking up to B.
10 seconds.
It's all up to something. He's got a Guardian. The aim god. Okay, good at the first.
Aduh.
Gets the second one instantaneously, but he's dropping in HP and bullets and everything.
Aduh.
And it's down once again to 𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘮. Oh, was that a tag? It was.
Aduh,
Look at
HP lagi.
how just low both of these players are. I mean, even if Meteor drops down, you can already see 𝘂𝘮 waiting patiently at the back of the site. He even finds 𝘰𝘮𝘮 trying to reposition, and GENG somehow makes the thrifty round work.
I'll tell you somehow, it was Meteor. All it took was a Marshall.
Modal
This guy's
Marshall,
still as lethal
anjir.
as he was last year. Maybe not on the Jet anymore, but as soon as he pushes up halls, look at these picks that he's
Bang,
getting.
udah bang.
It might not always be
Nggak
headshots,
bisa jantung gua
but
diginin.
just because he plays around the space that way, plays around the obstacles, he keeps himself tucked away. He's always able to chip away at PaperX bit by bit. That's, you know, something had some nice Guardian kills that was really flashy, really fun to watch. but it's not clean enough for an anti-eco round that PaperX was meant to win.
Absolutely. I mean, it just also felt like PaperX was agreeing to the aim duel, and GENG was coaxing him to do that. There was
you want to aim
lesser risk for GENG to do that because
Masya Allah,
they were just on marshals, man. They weren't even committing to purchase this.
Nice.
What was that? Actually gets through the defense, the line of sight. Doesn't even have to trigger the trap here, and does get a 1-to-1 trade. I mean, I don't know how impactful that is going to be, but still is going to show how both teams very much willing to take those off-angle risks to try to get something.
Both of them are in the fight very much so. 7-7 right now, and that's the main thing. You definitely can't underestimate PaperX too much, and I think that's why GENG are taking things really slow right now.
Biasanya panas-panas gini mesinnya.
Maybe trying to suss out information, but we don't have that much in terms of gathering, right?
Bab 1 kan menang, Bab 2 juga bakal lebih ngebantai.
So maybe just executing onto A right now, and it depends on how well PaperX
Ini beneran 2-1 semua. Nice banget, Aaron.
He gifted himself a bulldog, and no one's there to trade it for GENG. So they get themselves some control.
Oh my, Wano Shindeiro.
Quick work of that A site. GENG find themselves the advantage.
Tiba-tiba cuy, baru gue bilang nice.
1 point in the lead. It was against pistols, but you gotta admire how they, went inside.
Bisa Dota 2 nggak?
Made
Ada
sure
deh,
that they
tapi
were
udah nggak main gue.
going to pre-fire some of these corners. They checked some of it.
Hilang,
Although
bro.
Meteor did die, it was a bit of information that they could use to go
2,
up against,
3.
Mind Freak up around halls. And relatively clean round for GENG, and that's what you would have wanted for PaperX.
Jangan dibucin Nesul. Oh ya, sorry.
So,
Like diam dah
on to
coba.
the next. Now Texas got
Maaf,
enough
maaf
for
ya.
the Blade Storm, doesn't need to
Diam.
buy up. GENG's economy starting to flow, Asarai.
Absolutely. They even have themselves Charon's Cosmic Divide.
Oh.
Wanyat finding Meteor through the push on A main. This is what they want. They want to stop these multiple angles of attack, go for a little bit of coverage, and the flashes is so good that GENG just have to rub their eyes and wait for the blindness to dissipate. And as it does, Punch gets by himself. Forsaken devours. That's going to be a flawless round for PaperX.
Gue diem deh.
I mean, that's another one of those things again, because when you
Okay,
think
gue
about
diem.
PaperX, every single one of these guys have the potential to frag.
Kurang ajar.
And Monyet
Dibisuin lu.
single-handedly picking
Babi
duels
lah.
outside of, A main. He's got support from the team. You've got Forsaken watching mid. And it's just that much more difficult for GENG to really pull off some of these, like,
Apa selama ini monyet nggak bisa nge-kill karena gue?
So they have to really
Sorry ya,
rethink
Caha.
the strategies.
Ya.
If this carries on, I could
Ya,
foresee a
gue diem
timeout
ya.
being called
Sabar
by
ya.
Solo.
Both teams have actually
Sedih
used their
juga gue.
first timeouts as well in that
That's
first
right.
half.
Menangnya disuruh diem.
Feels like they have a better grasp of what is happening right now. Again, it just goes to show how even it is, that 8-8. Look at how close something is on this mid control. How risky it is too. A stray pop shot, that smoke going, and there's the pop shot. He's actually getting tagged. He might want to get away right now.
Movement, though.
But he did give away his teleport on. He does have the dimensional drift, so he can get away from this without having to use that gate crash. Or because he's in such an off angle and he's that Yoru, he can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's going to gate crash out now. Definitely doing what he wants. I mean, just getting enough information, or maybe pulling the attention away from GENG as they start to go back towards mid. Now the high tide invested. A little bit awkward, though, with the curve. So Texture has actually made it onto the other side.
He's still doing this. Something. Yikes. I mean, shame on me. And then shame on him if he does that again. The wall's dropping down, and Forsaken! How he used his teammate as the great bait mate. They thought they wouldn't double up, but he did. He does get some value. 30 seconds left, and GENG lose all control of that mid-push, but they wait to use that neural tap for that information.
Asteroid, we are fishing out here, but it's big information. Now we know Devi is alone and cold on the B site. Maybe we could harpoon him, but we've got 13 seconds left.
Oh, he's just going to hold by himself.
Wow.
Again, boy's patient, man. He just has to wait for him to peek into his crosshair, and Devi single-handedly holding this. Can he beat down Meteor? No. But because of the recon dart, he's given away his position. Meteor is just having to hold so many angles. The shot dart! Mind Freak, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Are you a freak? Well, he could definitely be. Paranoia misses Meteor, but know exactly where he is. Down to 14. 3 bullets and a dream. And is this dream going to turn into reality? as 𝘭𝘪𝘬 denies.
Menang.
So very
Menang udah,
confident.
gue nggak mau diem, gue capek ngomong sendiri. Lu nggak kangen ngobrol sama gue, guys? Gue sih kangen ya. Deg-degan mulu sih nggak sehat. Gila, jantung dipacu, guys. Gilanya nice banget, Davai gila jago banget, cuy. What the fuck, man? Davai carry.
Victoria was telling us about this as well. Davai fishes in real life. He is patient.
Kok nonton kayak kejang-kejang gitu? Anjir, adrenalin coy. Anjir.
He knows that sometimes
Happy
all he
banget.
has to do is
Let's go
again
PRX.
not do anything. That's already a lot because the stress on GENG makes them try to peek out, makes them want to get as much information as they
Gue sih lebih pengen
possibly
PRX
can.
win sih, Lik.
Something.
Iya, menang ini
He's already
menang.
nursing himself an
Ini
operator
menang
all
roundnya.
above here
Easy.
on halls, and I really like this because
Udah
he
pengen
gets
OP
so much
nih.
information, so much value.
Si
His
babang
gate crash is about to expire,
comting.
but shouldn't matter at the moment as GENG coming out of elbow.
Yeah, he can always just regroup with his team and other means. Main thing though is for Divide to stay alive right now.
Nice
Well, he can,
banget.
especially because of those flashes, but the punishes from the Reckoning as well as the Hunter's Fury.
Nice banget. Aduh, anjir, trade-nya sih gila, sumpah.
With the shorty,
Beneran,
numbers
anjir,
still favoring
cepet banget,
GENG.
sumpah.
All of them now on the site. What's the
Aduh,
damage
nice
here? What's
banget.
the capabilities? 𝘭𝘪𝘬 wreaking some
Itu
havoc
anjir,
outside of
bisa lah.
Orange. But
Very
he's
fucking
alone.
winnable,
Haven't
anjay.
picked up the spike. He can reposition
tiba-tiba
into this,
kalah?
and he's got everything. Shrouded Step, Paranoia, and there is smoke. GENG realizes, wants to actually double up. They want to use the numbers in their favor. 𝘭𝘪𝘬, did he hit all of them? He did!
Anjir.
He repositioned! Oh my god, 𝘭𝘪𝘬!
He's
Down
out of
to
ammo,
one
though.
bullet. He has to change. Either reload or change, which he does. And 𝘭𝘪𝘬 almost gets it, but
Nice try,
Munchkin
Onyet. Nice try.
perseveres and wins.
Sorry dah.
Oh boy, that was close for both.
I mean, just a bit of nerfs on stage. Unfortunate that he ran out of ammo in his magazine right after right, but still, it comes down to it. Munchkin actually lands the flick above 𝘭𝘪𝘬. So it's all of these like really thin margins, and it comes out on top. Sometimes numbers advantage will still prevail, and that's why, you know, it gets so dicey when you're going for these shorty kills. The Reckoning, the Hunter's Fury was awesome, but not the cleanest, you know, fight back against it. They're starting to run low on
Ini
rounds.
bukan
Right?
karena
It's 9
gua.
to 9.
Mana
Alex
bisa
calls
sih?
timeout.
Gila.
And that's something that we often forget. It's
Aduh,
like, it's
turun
not
lah,
just a
ambil
battle
dono
of
aja
teams
gua.
and players, it's also a battle of the coaches. And, you know, Alex was talking about it. Solo back in the days, you know, he looks
gila
up
ya.
to him. And he's communicating with his team as well.
It feels like the plan for �ヰ𝑟𝑥 for the past couple of rounds right now has just been to disrupt the entry into the site of GENG, right? And again, it's resulted in more of these
Namanya
riskier
di blaming gue.
plays
Disuruh
that
diem,
might
Han.
not pan out
Aneh
as
nggak tuh,
much for
streamer disuruh
𝘰𝑟𝑥.
diem,
Something
anjir.
like, again, something that plays with an operator.
Padahal
just
kan mau nobar
gets
ya,
close in
mau
with the
ngobrol ya.
shorty, can't
Suruh
really
diem,
threat,
anjay.
can't really
Gila.
reposition anymore, get traded out. You were talking about this.
Stop,
And that
guys.
leads them into this kind of clutch situations which 𝘰𝑟𝑥, from the looks of things, don't really want to
Kata
always
lucu.
put themselves
Nice
on.
banget. Ya,
You
diam.
always gotta be careful. But what is this? Outlaw Marshall by.
Enggak lah, ini susah nggak sih? Half anjir.
I mean,
Marshall.
I don't hate
there's
it.
like 3 players of GENG that is half shield right
Half.
now, so
I don't
Stinger.
hate it.
yeah. And
Susah anjir
plus,
yang ini.
you know, FYI for people, if you only shoot 1 bullet at the outlaw and reload it, it's faster than
Kira
the
outlaw
full
sih, yang ini cakep
I
sih
don't
skinnya.
hate it, but I'm nervous after I.
Duh,
Oh
duh, duh.
boy.
Oh shit, man.
Okay, that's gonna be Forsaken is back.
Duh, duh, duh.
Oh, that's not even him backing away. That's a
Nice try,
trade
bro.
by 𝘰𝑟𝑒𝑥, punished by 𝘰𝑟𝑒𝑥, straight into the neural theft, and 𝘰𝘰𝘯, I see you.
Oh,
Whole
shit.
map exposed.
Just trying to get out of,
Shit, man.
get as much out of GENG as possible in this round, right? If
Retake.
any round is the round that we want to bait out those ultimates, bait out those pieces of utility, that's gonna be this one.
Nice banget.
𝘭𝘪𝘬 got the Marshall in hand, shooting through the smoke blindly.
Wow.
𝘰𝑟𝑒𝑥 comes in for the pinch. And he will get diced. Mindfreak looking a little bit too far away. That's gonna leave 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮 by himself. I was about to say Divide, and then he's just by himself right now. Oh, he does not get the shot onto 𝘰𝑟𝑒𝑥 as well, and he's position exposed. Gets the heal. This might actually have to be a save from him, as he just backs away. Wait. He has a gate crash all the way at the end of halls.
Saving.
Is he willing?
Saving.
No, probably not.
Saving.
Yeah,
Bukan
I think
salah
it ran
aku. Dia
out.
saving.
He's probably opting for the save instead at this point, but
Gua
still,
nggak
I mean,
nice. Diam doang kok.
definitely trying to get an
Jalan
idea.
nice try.
So
Babi.
scouting out, what GENG's early game plan is, right? At least in the first 30
Kan
seconds.
gue udah bilang ini
Sometimes,
lagi
they're
half
up
susah
around
menang.
elbow, up around mid.
Bukan salah gue anjay,
This time you
gila
can
ya lu.
definitely feel that A presence.
Kira gue
and
apaan?
Just not too sure
Bawa
how
sial.
PaperX can really disrupt that. We were talking about it before. That's why you have to Yoru, right?
Kok
You
jadi
always
cewek
wanna
yang
push up
salah
front,
sih?
you
Bukannya
always
cowok
wanna
yang
scout
salah ya?
and gate crash back.
Gila.
But it's still, sometimes just a little bit risky.
I guess the problem for that is
Allah.
because you only have technically the one
Ini Meteor
duelist
sih gila
that
sih.
can reposition. I mean, you can maybe argue that Monyet can also do it as the Omen
Nggak dapat
here.
ace bang,
There's
haha.
not really a lot of options for PaperX to really get out of harm's way without getting punished, even with the smokes.
Like
right?
off stream
So we're kinda
PRX win.
seeing
Enggak anjir. Gila. Ini didukung oleh saya.
the other way of that, which is getting punished by GENG and
Menang,
ultimately giving rounds to GENG. Okay.
Whoa.
Seeker's been activated. Forsaken's just charging right in. Divide? Is he even gonna divide it? No. He
Nice banget, what
doesn't
the
even
fuck?
have to look at his opponents.
What's
Cool
happening, bro?
guys don't look at snake bite kills. It's not even an explosion,
Cool
guys.
guys
It's
don't
a
look.
slow burn, a slow, painful poison burn. Cosmic Divide used on the A side itself. 𝘰𝘯𝘯𝘵 making GENG just a tad bit afraid. As it drops, now they know. And they even
Aduh,
have
welcome to
the
my
Viper's
world lagi.
Pit to make things a little bit easier as they transition, into this post plant.
And that's it, an uphill battle for PaperX, right? They might be able to surround this Viper's Pit. There is a trip on the other side. Meteor can make use of it.
Hancurin dulu bang tripnya. Nice.
And then you still got to watch out for those players up inside A main.
Oh, nice
How do you
banget
break
anjir.
this?
Monyet, though, he's vertical, dude. He's got the high ground advantage, and he is using that to actually get the one up. Viper's Pit, use the snake bite to get a little bit of damage. No one's defusing the spike, and Munchkin through the smoke. Oh, this is going horribly wrong for PaperX. Someone's gonna have to start defusing, and someone's gonna have to hold him. Munchkin, what can you do? Absolutely everything, as he actually has bought enough time. They die to the event horizon, and that's gonna be GENG with 2 rounds advantage, closing up to maybe the map point already in this game.
Tinggal
Just
ditarik
incredible.
doang anjir,
I
langsung
mean, the
rata
combination of,
bertiga.
first of all, the Cosmic Divide to give them that much
Sumpah.
more space, that much more security, and
Nggak,
then the
sumpah ini.
Viper's Pit. And how
Ini,
Munchkin is
anjir
playing
lah,
off
what
of it.
the
This is
fuck?
what GENG can do off of a post plant. And it's just that much more difficult. PaperX,
Jarang
although
nge-rush.
he had Monyet,
Nggak
kind of like you
mati,
mentioned,
anjir.
Azurai, with the vertical play, trying to break through that Viper's Pit,
Nah,
trying to
sampai
break
meledak
through
lagi. Iya,
Meteor.
anjir.
It worked out for just a second, and that's why it's just so much that
Apa?
PaperX has to work off. And now, it's a 2-round
Gara-gara cowok
differential.
salik, betul.
How do you climb
Setuju.
up against that? And they have to make it happen if they are to start
After.
out strong in VCT Pacific kickoffs this year.
Well, thankfully enough, they do have money, creds, to have
Menang lah,
weaponry to make
ayolah.
something happen. I will honestly try to
Ayolah,
find a
panas
different
dikit
word
lah,
other than something. If you
PRX.
guys can just like DM me a different word I can use so that you guys will not be confused. Anyways, the man himself, 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮, is there on elbow, nursing himself the operator once again. He is just holding that angle for the absolute longest time. He is hoping that someone is just going to go into his spider's web, but unfortunately for the moment, GENG, they have their eyes set up here on that A site, and it could actually be good. Monyet's cold in for that one-way smoke that actually drops in and turns into a regular smoke that has a very big partial outside of A main. It could actually be bad for 𝘬𝘱. We'll have to see how that works out, and he is trying to clear that
Lucu juga.
with all intentions by
It's okay,
himself.
kencana.
Got a bit of time.
Oh, he's
Wah,
so
1000
low.
manusia di
Oh,
bumi,
he is so
anjir,
dead.
Davai.
Oh, this is not looking too good for PaperX. Forsaken doing the same thing. No
Nice
flashes,
banget, what the fuck.
and he absorbs his opponent right in front of him. Gets full flash, but the
Manfred dapat
trades
satu.
for
Hah, betul
PaperX
anjir.
are actually working. Shot through mid.
Nice banget.
Something gets it. He even
Menang, menang.
finds the lurking
Ini
meteor.
nggak apa-apa, nice banget.
And
Karena
all
sudah pasti
this
menang.
because of the shock darts coming in from Mindfreak. 𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘮 will plant the spike. Monyet does not chase for him or tries to punish him. So it's the double up from the
Nggak
both
mungkin
of
dong,
them.
1v3,
Something coming in
nice.
with the white swing, and he's had enough.
Woo!
Something
Otenik.
getting the final kill. Mindfreak.
Sumpah, jantung anjir.
There's something getting kills we've seen that
Jantung
before.
gua.
Mindfreak with 2 shock dart kills.
Ayolah, juara 2
Not
dunia.
something you
Iya,
see
jir.
every day, but a welcome sight nonetheless. I mean,
Otelik,
just
iya.
getting the information
Yang
off
sedih,
of
Lik.
𝘬𝘱𝘮, trying to play
Sedih
around
dikit, anjir.
Monyet's dark cover. That one felt really iffy. But look at how 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 really comes back in, and after they get that information, just being able to, you know, put out the tire treachery. You got those counter drops, the shock darts. GENG can't really walk onto site that freely, so 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 trying to play a little bit more patient this round, especially with something posted up with that operator. That was the cherry on top in this round.
They gotta go for these adaptive risks, I think, because GENG is so good at just, I don't know if I'm correct with these made-up stats, but they feel like they have the first bloods, you know, very much locked and loaded in this first map. Something at least pads the stats a little bit more in the favor of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 with that peak. And that slows down GENG by a big margin. Not having the flashes anymore from Lakia really hurts the chances here for Texture to get more of these quick contacts into the site.
Definitely slows down GENG. They're always going to be thinking about what's next. But now, Dimensional Drip, just to gain further information. 1 minute left on the clock, and GENG actually going back off of a bit of a default. They want to spread themselves across the entire map. Ooh.
Dimainin begindang anjir.
Alright. Mr. Risky here. You know, not even...
Dude, they are living dangerously.
Yeah. One Blade Storm at a time.
But it works for them. And right now, he's got information if they were to cross in the risky way. Most of them have already bypassed it, so something going to reposition.
Alek, lu pada bisa main Valorant nggak? Monyet bisa tapi mati. Nggak, monyet standing strong anjir dia. Still good tuh di default. Doing good.
So he has capabilities to enter the site. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮's not gonna know about Karen here. Or does he? The Reckoning actually spawns about 14 seconds. Let's see what the battle comes in through the mid. It's going to be 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮. Spike though should get planted. It's all down to 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 for now as he waits for Divide the back of the side. But Texture! What a reposition! What a challenge! What aim has this top-ranking Korean brought to the GENG roster?
Texture, what a monster! Dude, yesterday, 2 days ago, he already had such an incredible stat line up against his opponent's RQ. Having those first kills that you mentioned before him, he has 16 throughout the entire series. I feel like this one, he got even more. But not just that, the Blade Storm, the aim off of it, the way that he cut down Divide at his knees, really blocks out 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮, and now they've earned that match point. Remember, they are still sitting on one timeout.
Bro can see like 2 seconds into the future, man. And in a very quick and fast game like Valorant, that's all we really need. That cascade was supposed to give some sort of safety and access point for 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 to get through on halls, but it turns into a signal for Lakia to, you know, it's kind of obvious. I'm just going to pop shots. What am I going to lose? Absolutely nothing. And he gains the 1 kill for almost everything here. There is
Mana yang bilang 13, sumpah gue bilang itu 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 yang 13 coy. Oh my, Wano Shindeiro, Davai with the clutch kah?
It's all down to the buy. He's got a Vandal, but he's so far from the situation on A.
Woi, juara dunia, juara 2 dunia.
I'm running out of words.
GG. Udah GG aja lu.
I would have thought that maybe at least something would have been able to get a trade at least, but wow. Decision making just a little bit off, but then at the same time for GENG to pick up these frags that quickly. They are looking in new form today. William is definitely chuckling at the desk.
Oh my god!
Now they're just 1 kill away from pushing us into the next map.
Oh my god,
definitely
nice
patting
try.
himself on the back with his GENG-inspired outfit.
Anjing.
God, Divide doesn't even have any smokes to supplement himself. He just has the weapon in the corners. That Spike is just dwindling down ever so closely to exploding. He does find Texture, but
ada tarikan maut.
Karon's just gonna activate Gravity Well. Whoops, whoop. That's about it.
They know they got it.
He's got no time, man. That's gonna be it. And GENG
13-10 bener kok.
in this series up against 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮.
Teori gua.
I mean, what an unbelievable performance. Texture on a new form. Carrying through the momentum from a couple of days ago. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮, the rookie, still showing up huge. And Meteor, of course, you know, not much left to be said. They're anchoring, they're doing everything possible. They know how to play
Keren
off of
prediksinya.
PaperX's
Masih
aggression.
mau 2-0, jangan 2-1. Mau canda 2-1. Ayo bisa yuk PRX 2-1. Alex jangan marah, Alex.
Just not quite able to defend against this.
And
Alex
again, it's
jangan marah,
because
Alex.
of the fact that they can't really slow down what was available to them because of the composition.
Oh yeah, but you know what?
Insane. Like Jason, like Donk. He's skinny, but he's insane. Oh man.
From what I've seen, best pros in these games are either fat or skinny.
Okay, who's the best Valorant player right now?
One, he's skinny, though.
Yeah, Demon 1 is not fat. Thanks for the prime sub, Chow.
Is it tend to be fat or skinny? No in between.
Aspas is not fat.
Ya gara Alex ngomong dari awal. Anjing salah gue gila. RRQ gak main.
Jason is
RRQ
not
main
fat,
Rabu.
He's like medium. He's not like skinny, he's like medium.
Who is medium?
What do you mean?
Alikers kembali.
Aspas is medium.
Enggak. Oh anjing softboy ya. Gak baik-baik. Alik capek nonton lu. Jangan. Jangan.
Fire fat, he's not
Tinggal
fat.
gini
He's just
gue
big,
gara-gara gue ngomong
big
nice
size,
doang.
not like very tall, but he's not fat.
Gila ya. Salah gue di mana anjay?
What now, guys? Guys, how do I fix my Twitch? My Twitch does not work. I'm so sad.
Saya kan gak panasnya nih. Map 2 dukung Genji aja, Lik, please. Jangan dong, gue dukung PRX dong. Masa gue dukung Genji? Lu bakal ditawarin jadi BA Genji bang.
It does not work,
Ini
guys.
bagus ya. Ininya bagus, warnanya. Google-nya bisa diganti tah?
It's like
Lucu
loading
amat ya
forever,
warna biru.
guys. Why is it like this, man? Try incognito. I tried
Nice
already.
banget,
Clear
Lik.
DNS. I tried that as
Babi lah.
well.
Lu kapan main nanti gue nice-nice.
Yeah. I changed the DNS. I changed
Lu udah kayak
everything.
karakter bisa kayak macam mana bikin kutukan.
I restart my router. I restart like my main internet.
Salmon.
Clear cookies. I clear cookie. I do everything, but it does not work. Like nothing just
Sedih gue.
works. Hi, 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦. Hello. Aspas. Wait, what? Is Aspas here? Wait, where Aspas? I cannot see my chat. Okay, if you guys see my screen, my chat is so small because I'm using like a. Where's Aspas? Hello, Aspas. But where's Aspas, man? I cannot see the chat. Aspas.
Ada Aspas.
Hello.
Ada Aspas anjir.
Change your mousepad. Okay, changing my mousepad will fix this. I think you guys are like geniuses.
Suara Jing gimana, Lik, menurut lo? Softboy,
Different
good,
browser.
good.
I tried different browser. I tried everything. Thanks for what's up, Aspas. Aspas, what are your thoughts on this game? Texture versus PaperX. Wait, what texture? I mean GENG. Wait, I meant GENG. I'm not BMing anybody. I said wrong. I meant GENG.
Nggak mungkin hari libur Alik mandi. Gue habis mandi
that's what I
kocak
meant,
tadi gue
guys.
keramas
I
anjir
did not mean
gila ya.
that. I meant GENG. Wait, why did I say texture? Dude, because his name is right here. And like, okay, my bad. My bad, guys. No toxic, my bad. That was not what I meant. Oh shit. Cancel? What do you mean? It was a accident. How about incognito? It doesn't work.
Udah makan siang, Lik. Udah.
Even my phone, guys. It
Tadi
doesn't work. My phone
makan
as well.
siang. Makan gudeg pagi sih, kayak jam 10-11 gitu gue makannya. Jam 11 kayaknya. Ini mah cuci muka dulu, Lik. Ih, gue udah mandi, gue udah keramas, gue udah bersih.
Maybe ISP
wangi.
broken? I don't know.
Saya pengen coba top up nih, anaknya di mana? Di Pro Digital.
I cannot even see like the people donate. Cannot see viewer count.
Makasih.
Cannot see like the
Except
chat properly.
GG-nya
I
nggak gini
cannot
deh.
see anything.
Tapi jago banget sih emang dia. Dang.
I think PRX miss you. It's okay. I also miss PRX, but I can't do anything.
It's okay, I also miss PRX, but I can't do
Guess what is
anything.
view count right now? I cannot see the view
Anjir.
count. It doesn't show me, man.
Gimana sih Frudi
Use
ini tadi?
5G.
Iya.
I do not have. Okay, my room there's like no
Kita top up
service.
lah.
10K.
Janganlah orang gue di bar
room,
sama
right, there's no service, so I
Rudi.
cannot even use like my 4G or 5G.
Pasti nggak gosok gigi
Use
makanya
VPN.
mulutnya bau.
My VPN
Wangi?
does not work. Ah,
Lu
shit,
yang
wait.
terakhir di
Charge
arah
my
itu
phone.
tekstur dan jamkin. Oh iya.
Use WinScribe VPN extension. What if I just try some free VPN?
Jago banget
Guessing
sih
that
tapi
will work or no?
tekstur. Ya dia hadiahnya 1,8 anjir. CS 319.
Better not, okay. It's okay. We watch on YouTube
Deng.
together, okay guys?
Deng deng.
Try
deng,
1-1
deng,
DNS, I did.
Deng 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 deng.
Don't have VPN sponsor. I had my
Deng
VPN
deng.
for 2 years.
Gue udah kayak anak Jakarta di mana like? Nggak ada. Ada Arsa. Yang enak tuh ini. Oh ada yang chat. Ini gue. Anjir. Adem ayem namanya. Enak banget. Adem ayem.
Oh wait, I have a VPN. Let me try. Wait, thanks for the 5 gifted merp. Wait, I'll try use my friend's VPN. Let me try. Let me try. Exit light.
Ya ntar mau Dota 2 mabar enggak main Dota anjir gua. Nggak bisa main Dota.
It's not stressful at all. It's
When we
okay.
get married? No, never.
Get help me. Get look.
Tolong kasih Cahya agent yang bener sial.
Oh shit.
Kasih ini ya, kasih jet. Like map 2 ganti nice
My
doang.
Twitch can open yet. I need some help.
Nice doang gak mau dukung
Please
dia
give me
aja
new
like.
PC. I think it's PC
Mau
problem.
dukung PRX lah. Orang
I need
Indo
PC,
Pride
but
gila ya.
49 Ti, Ryzen 9
pusing,
7950
Pak.
X3D. What
Sakit.
else? 64 GB RAM.
Ah.
10 TB SSD. What else? What else do I need, guys? What else, guys? It's PC problem, man. Shameless? What do you mean shameless?
Aduh takut banget.
What else?
RRQ lawan PRX anjir.
2 monitors? No, I need like 5 monitors.
Takut banget
One
anjir.
for chat, one for like streaming. No, I need 2 PCs as well. One for streaming, one for playing game. What else do I need? 500 Hz monitor?
Udah
Yeah, 500 Hz
makan.
monitor.
Tetap enak budak Jogja itu lo nomor 1 lah.
2000 watt
Udah
PSU.
cobain TFT
Yep.
belum? Nggak mau main juga.
2 headphones. One headphone for 1
Bener
year.
yang lo dukung berapa persen min? Bukan
Thanks for
0%.
the thumbs up.
Kemarin
Thank
menang
you.
cuy yang gue dukung si ini. Si Talon. Mana Talon? Talon
So,
menang.
that's not work.
DRX
This side
menang.
cannot be reached. Okay, fine.
50% anjir gue
I
win
use
rate-nya.
YouTube then.
Masih 50-50. Kan kemarin dukung Talon sama DFM. Talon
Thanks for the
DFM
thumbs up.
yang kalah.
Finland.
Yang kalah baru RRQ.
Change your internet. I did. Guys, actually, is it good to have like
Sama
2 different
Sentinel.
internets? Like, I
RRQ
know some people
Sentinel
that have
kalah.
like 2 different internets, you know.
Ini PRX menang aja naik
Try
nanti.
your browser
Gila
cache.
lu.
I-
DRX lawan bot itu.
Like one Singtel, one
Anjing.
Starhub
Mulut
or
lu.
something, you know, example. So
Jelek
like
ya.
one of these down, you can use the other
Something
one.
error
I
is
have friends
so
that do
bad.
that, but is that
No,
worth?
no, no.
Or is that,
Belum
like,
panas.
expensive
All
or
good.
how? 'Cause I know
Balikin
some people
PRX
that do it.
21 santai, santai, santai.
Thanks for the tier 1 sub, Kimi.
Next score berapa
Once
like?
upon a time,
Next
share
score,
sub with facecam. Thank you, thank you.
next score kayak dibantai deh sama PRX. 8 sih kata gue 8. 8-13 ya sih. Menurut
Slow
kalian
mode
gimana?
set to 15 seconds. Is that too long, guys?
Kemarin dukung
Wait,
Sen
that's too
kalah
long,
sama
no
RRQ
streamer.
kalah cuma
We
2,
need like 5
50-50.
It's okay, I can reach chat
10%
fast. I can put
win
in 5
rate gua.
seconds. Restarting a PC can fix
Kalau
the
RRQ
problem.
PRX tuh
Cannot.
mana?
I
Ya RRQ
restarted
lah.
my PC
Nanya
3
lagi
times.
gila ya lo.
It did not work.
RRQ lah.
Monet race.
Masa
Let's
PRX?
go, Monet will race Steve texture. I believe.
Stop prediksi linkers.
Texture has used up all his power last game.
Ditanya ya saya jawab lah.
For Singapore Nova 2 ISP is really expensive, is it? YouTube chat is trying to get your attention, but really? Wait, okay, let me see.
Lu takut banget anjir Lotus ya.
Creating looking like he's ready to spy on your phone. What does that even mean?
DRX FM gak
What is he
hitung
saying?
bot.
What is this
Dihitung
guy
anjir
yapping
tetep
about?
orang
What
kemarin
spy?
lumayan 13-8 13-8.
What does that even mean?
Gila lu nyangka nggak
I
bot
don't
bisa dapet 8 anjir.
Okay.
8 udah lumayan loh ya lawan DRX.
Monkey race.
Udah very good.
Let's see.
Come on. All right, let's bring things back to this because
Mulai jangan
definitely
bawel.
we're wondering about Forsaken
Udah,
and
menang.
how effective he can really be. I think he should have studied enough because that is what he's known to do. He can flex on so many agents, but apart from that, who is going to be the one supplementing GENG? Of course, it's going to be Monyet on that race.
True, and
Race Monyet.
feels like something might be back.
Double duelist. Double duelist lawan.
That jet
Indo.
back in his hands. It seems like when he was on the
Fate bagus sih di sini.
Yoru, he was just following set guidelines. It wasn't the same something that we were kind of mentioning when he is on that more explosive duelist.
Nah gini kan
Because thought
cakep.
Jackie was gonna commit on that
Jason
C side,
main
but now just a bit of noise here and there.
Cypher,
Maybe
Aaron
hoping
main
to coax a bit of rotation from
Omen,
Vaporex,
Davai
which
main
has worked.
Cekai.
Obviously,
Nah ini
Jackie doesn't
cakep,
know that,
ini
but
cakep.
they're still gonna hit the other side on B.
I mean, that's the other
Tapi-
thing. It's just that this is a map
Oh,
that Paperex
nice,
can
nice,
study game tape off of
guys.
because Genji did play this.
Let's go.
Against RRQ.
Time to win.
So having an
13-8.
idea, you definitely have that something that is feeling a little bit more swift, a little bit more fluid.
Something get in? Oh, I thought he got into the door. He opened it himself. Here's the fight.
Nice
They're gonna try to
banget
go for the base very
monyet.
quickly.
Monyet with
And
his
Paper
race.
Rex, this B side, there is no solid ground here. It is all quicksand. You gotta move, or else you're just gonna fall into the depths of the bullets. Meteor's by himself, and Spike's already getting defused. And Paper Rex, solid start on the pistol.
Udah panas bang, udah panas bang, udah panas bang.
I think it was T1.
13-6 deh ini gua. Turunin. 13-6.
Similar except for a few agents.
Nextnya baru 13-8.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Again, still just with
Kasih
the
dia pisang
fights going the way
abangku.
of Paper X, it's a little bit tougher for GENG to break through.
No, nice like. Cakep aja. Oke, cakep. Alik tas dulu sini.
There you go.
Tas bang.
And I do like how...
Cakep.
Sorry, I was just getting caught by the replay real quick.
Let's go monyet. Kasih tahu haters.
They're going to push on the B side as their opponents, right? You do not want to let go control of C-Long on Mount because doorway control is so strong, especially now in Lotus, that the door opens very quickly and closes very slowly. So them realizing that, just gives them more opportunities to keep GENG pinched into the B side, which allows them to flank around much faster.
Again, that's something that Paper X uses very well on the on the defense. Mindfreak just making a bit of noise. But look at how GENG is playing defensively. I mean, that's one thing that a lot of teams have adapted to against Paper X, expecting or anticipating that they would push out a lot on this defensive side. So they are playing so far back right now, and now that the first minute comes down, now they walk on up to B.
They're about to open that door.
Binding.
Yeah, there's the haunt activated already.
Oh, nice banget guys. Oh, nice.
Ready and best, but there's too many numbers here. They've committed the fight, they've lost the weapons. And they've losing numbers right now. Monyet's gonna have to hold this by himself. He is down to a very amount of HP. And something all down to him. Thankfully enough, the rest of Paper X, they've done somewhat their jobs, as they have lowered the meters, the life of all the GENG players down to half.
Anjir.
Ingestible for something. Vandal indeed in his hands. He's already activated Tailwind, but GENG's not biting. They know they have the numbers advantage. They know the Spike is planted already. So something's going to be put into such a decrepit state. He might actually just be forced to save.
Save anjir.
Yeah, if he got one kill, maybe he would have gone for even more, but without that kill, it's just way too risky. He never knows if someone is holding an off angle, a bit of a crossfire against him, so doesn't want to get swung upon contact either. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, well played by GENG because they played it safe. They had those haunts and bits of setups just to draw out some of these Paper X players, right? They heard the door, they kind of had an idea. He might be around the corner. Let's check. And with so many players up around the corners, it's just Paper X kind of putting themselves in awkward positions. And, not quite landing their shots too. That's the thing that surprises me the most, because it feels almost as if there's like a bit of that mood shift. Coming back on stage, Alex talking to them that way, and after having lost the first match, they can't be feeling too good right now.
I'm going on to a different point here. You know how Paper X on the attacking side here on Lotus, they love to break that mid lane to go to A to B very quickly. Again, using those connectors from site to site to put a lot more motion in the ocean with how they rotate. GENG is doing the exact same thing, and it seems, at least for now, in these couple of rounds, it hasn't really paid attention. Something there. He's actually going to chase the kill here. Thankfully enough, there's a lot of utility for Meteor to give himself that space. And, yeah, 140 damage to the body.
OP anjir outlaw, babi.
Meteor's not even going for the headshot there. And that's just unfortunate. Again, I mean, half armor.
Safe lah.
You want to get a kill, at least something, create a bit more space for the team, but can't find all too much. And something chasing that way, it's... Dude. Again, not a feels-good moment, but for GENG, I mean, right now, we were talking about it from the previous round. You're talking about how they love to find that motion in the ocean across the map, find that space and push into the A site. They always have players watching their backs. They always have players watching out for those pushes from Paper X.
Punten, diem gak lu?
having
Lu
Meteor
diem sih
playing
Jess
as
anjir.
that killjoy
Kurang ajar nih orang.
makes it
Bener-bener.
so easy on
Makan tuh
Lotus.
jam.
All you have to
Aduh,
really do,
nice try dah.
yeah, I wasn't really expecting 𝘰𝘯𝘮𝘮 to survive that. All you really have to do is place your
Sorry turunin. Oh sorry.
your alarm bot on C long or A main, depending on
Rudin
which side you're
nutupin
actually heading
map.
to. You put it on
Sorry.
elsewhere, and then that one turret on B, or yeah, is just enough to check out all the flags. Also,
Precise.
Kill fitnya ya?
yes to your
Aman nggak? Gimana sih
Also
biasanya?
just, also just Meteor being
Gue nggak tahu lo akan marah. Gue tahu lo akan marah sama gue. Iya. Udah pergi kamu. Pergi dari sini.
Now onto the Sentinel. I
Tidak
was saying
terima kamu.
because I saw a double Odin.
Oh, I thought you were going to point out the
Yeah.
double showstopper available for both the duelists very quickly here.
That too.
I love having ultimates very early into the game.
Cakep.
It makes you very aggressive. And it looks like
Wanjir, anime metal.
All right, that's going to be a
Aduh, gak
trade
dapet
for
apa-apa
trade.
lagi. Anjir.
Texture does get Monyet first. Dust settles 3 versus 3. I mean, what was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to say when you see 2 raises just coming out into the open with
Benefit member apa kak?
showstoppers?
Gak ada
You really
sih.
just have to have your hands up in the air.
Gak
The way
ada.
like you just don't care. Anyways, again, GENG able to go into the
Dapat
C
ijo-ijo
side.
aja.
Gonna be able to plant that spike in, and the quick rotation, the quick huddle around Rubble works in their favor because now all of
Monitor awal
the
kebolong.
utilities that PaperX is gonna
Ngamuk,
sprinkle
anjir.
around the map has been subverted for the most part, except for
Pusing sih ini jadi Alek
this
anjir.
one really weird off cam from Forsaken that's been spotted.
Jangan ketawa ya Jesslyn ya. Kamu nggak berhak untuk bahagia.
Although it was a bit of
Kamu nggak boleh
information
ketawa
for
untuk
Forsaken
seminggu.
nonetheless. We've got some smokes up.
Oh,
got
shit, man.
Monyet
Oh,
and
nice
Night
banget,
Freak
anjir,
available,
Jason.
and they're trying to work their
there
way
you
in.
go.
Getting those heads-up duels will be advantages.
There's the NT,
Let's
not
go,
nice
let's go,
try,
let's
but
go.
the pearl
Just
tap
one. Oh my god,
activated.
oh my
Meteor
gosh.
still holding on,
Aduh,
man.
oh shit man.
He
Aduh,
is
oh
a-
my god.
He is a force to be reckoned with.
Nice
But
banget
Night Freak comes up to win.
Aron
Time
anjir. Anjir
going to
masih
be
bisa,
enough to
masih bisa.
defuse that spike.
Sumpah.
Man, oh
Bang,
man,
udah,
if Forsaken
Bang.
didn't pop off there, I shudder to think
Angkat
what would happen
nontonnya,
for
Bang.
PaperX.
And just before I go into the
Aron
analysis,
the
can I ask-
clutch
can you, give
maestro.
me an answer?
No.
Really? Oh.
We will do it again when we have
Jangan bilang
the
nice like
same
katanya ntar kalah. Diem
exact
ya lu ya.
situation happen.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that.
We don't want to overdo it. We
That
don't
was-
want to overstimulate our audiences.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, sick.
Asteroid's voice stimulating and titillating. It was really fun. It was really fun. But I mean,
Mochi
again,
Dale.
the main thing is
Yeah.
after the exchange, right? The both showstoppers, the rotations
Terus
came.
bilang
through,
nice.
Genji
Udah nggak
reset,
bisa nih Korsiri.
and then the retake
Ah.
coming in. You've got this Odin, but
Kaget, Bajir.
Forsaken getting the
Iya,
heads
Jir.
up duel, and just Meteor
Mana kalah
holding
game
the
1.
angle off. It's
Baru match pertama Alek masih ada 4 tim lagi.
clutching out on top of it was the main factor.
Gak apa-apa. Aku kuat. Aku strong.
Now, seems like we're back, down to even. Door's been opened up, but no one wants to charge in on tree. I guess it makes a lot of sense. They know that the Odin is available already for Device, so they don't want to get, peppered, wall banged to oblivion on tree there. They just want to make them think. Device already pushed up here, so now he knows no one's actually inside this position. So there is a lot
Raden.
of merit that they might
Match
actually
pertama
break through
belum
that link, go
gear
to B,
issue.
or rotate around. Meteor, his timing is going to
Oh,
be very
geding,
crucial.
geding.
Forsaken
Fuck,
chase a little bit too
man.
hard. And he has the lockdown.
Fuck,
He can
man.
activate it right
Fuck,
now,
man.
let the rest of
Fuck,
his team come in,
man.
or
Fuck, man.
use it as bait, force the rotation away from PaperX, and go
Anjir.
elsewhere.
Lari cuy ke
And that's
B.
the best thing that GENG has going for them right
Nggak
now.
ada
The number
something,
of
nggak ada
options that
something.
they have thanks to Meteor getting that first kill. But now, committing over to the B side, paint shells in, it buys PaperX a little bit of time
Nice banget anjir,
for
something.
something to come up with the judge.
Cakep something.
He knows someone's
Ciamik,
right behind
ciamik.
him.
Nggak ada
But
lama
since
nggak
they
ada.
haven't picked up that spike,
Bang, nggak ada, Bang.
he can just be as patient as possible, hold for the rest of his team. That's all he really needs to do. Texture stayed, not going to do much damage, but he does pick it up. Something's got a cloud burst. He can get closer and closer here, create that tempo if need be. But the one that's going to have to
Aduh,
hold the
nice
most
banget.
is Meteor right
Cakep,
on top
cakep.
of
Nggak
that
cakep,
B side,
nggak cakep.
which he does, leaving
Ayo,
Freak in
main
2
Freak.
versus 1.
Clutch lagi
Double
bro.
up onto the corner here.
Dua-duanya tinggal disentil anjir.
He got a shot at step. He's got a shot at step.
Duh.
But he's
Double
waiting
pick lagi
patiently.
babi.
You mentioned it already, man. They're stacking up.
Uff,
And he
anjir,
can't do the
nice try.
high-low. Too slow, and that's going to be GENG with a round advantage.
Such a difficult shot to land. I mean, the only time I've ever seen anyone pull off something like that.
Jangan
was
nice sip aja. Oke, sip.
3 Sentinels a few years
Gak bisa
ago,
jir,
but
udah
still.
keluar sendiri sumpah.
Wow, what memory you have, sir?
I don't know, I'm thinking of like Dapper or
Sansa
something.
Genji kemarin juga ngeri. Orang jago
But still,
anjir.
back into this one, it's just so
Ketok
darn
lagi
good
ini
from
map dua.
GENG, the way they've been playing this. You know, I think something kind of jumped around and fired off his judge, thinking that maybe he would be able to buy the attention.
Satu disentil gimana?
They stayed
Yang satu lagi disentil.
up against
Si ini siapa teksturnya tinggal disentil anjir.
Making sure that they wouldn't be able to push out.
Yeah, and again, it's because they don't really have to chase him. Again, they can rotate elsewhere on the map. They still had
Meteor Garden ngeri. Salah ya Penat ya.
Kill on Forsaken here.
Oh, Pac-Man, let's go, something.
As the rest of PaperX up into waterfall
Something
on
one.
that flank. 3-3. GENG's trapped onto the site. Smokes from Monyet, or excuse me, from Mind Freak to provide some coverage here. Paranoia to delay them just a tad bit further. One satchel. Pushes right in. Caron holding. Thinking it could be top of the spike.
Oh my god.
Numbers of PaperX dwindling down. Something's gonna have to make something happen here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Very shallow, and that's just gonna be a clean
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Cleanup, excuse
me. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Can't even words I was using. GENG's too fast.
Rasanya ngecatit tim sih anjir.
We can't even say too much about like.
Suruh bayar anjir, nggak tahu bayar mulu anjir nih kuliah.
Trying to find as much as they could, get some kills in. Something getting the Blade Storm going was, you know, a glimmer of hope, but just a bit of hope at best because there's just way too difficult. GENG saw the fight coming out.
Enggak, ada satu.
So something's not going right for PaperX right now. Alex calls in the timeout.
Ajarin tuh Karan biar nggak jago-jago banget. Maksudnya apa? Ngajarin dia jadi cupu. Gila ya.
Usually when that happens, PaperX do get
Something
their
is
second win.
over. Soalnya kan Tanjir ya dipelakin dulu sebelum lulus. Anjir, gua nggak ada duit bayar kuliah anjir. Habis bayar kuliah, duitnya habis. Araki nggak mau naikin gaji saya supaya saya bisa terus bayar kuliah. Ditagih mulu anjir, ini bingung gua bayar apaan. Nggak jelas. Bayar mulu dah kayaknya.
They don't feel good, and they want to shoot themselves back in the game. And that's something that just doesn't work out so well, especially against the GENG that's feeling this
Tapi RX number 1. Mau bayar sendiri, iya.
Come at us.
Saya duduk aja jelek. Mulut lu jelek. Nggak boleh anjir. Gila lu. Dukung siapa? Si Naya. RRQ. RX dong. Bayar membership son. Itu mah scam membership son scam anjir. Gak mau. Dia harus bayar yang Milk Tea dulu baru gue mau ikut membership dia yang ceban.
Too many big of highlights, you know. It's just the crossing of the streams of those showstoppers that we saw, but that's about it.
Emang nggak mau kayak Fos.
Still pretty early into this game, though.
Not really feeling all that much yet, but at the very least, trying to get a read for GENG's game plan right now. We've seen a lot of that A to mid link play, like you mentioned before, Asteroid, and PaperX are trying to adapt around it. They know that Nightfall is available as well, so just trying to play away from it. Now they're set up for something, maybe to at least toss paint shells to deny spike plan, but look at how Texture is hunting.
Teman-teman, nice banget anjir.
Barely dodges that, gets out of harm's way.
Ayo.
That's the power that they've got.
Trade lagi
Big kill onto
anjay.
Munchkin there though, but Meteor's still holding on Rubble. If he can
Nice
hold on this
banget
position,
Dafai.
his teammates can rely on him to hold that long angle right now, but not available anymore. Texture throws the nade from up above on
Ini
Heaven, so
Karon
they know
sumpah,
that somebody's
please
at
bunuh
least
Karon
up
nih
there.
Karon.
As he tries to reposition, the rest of PaperX coming in closer, something floating, stinging like a bee. That nade is going to be so strong. Lakia, wow, over-analyzes the situation and gets punished for it. But Texture, it's all in his wheelhouse, baby. Smoke does dissipate the vibe very quickly. We'll be able to get that refrag as well as the complete defuse, and PaperX strikes back.
Mana yang dapat saham hotel dari Pak ya? Ya Tuhan, amin. Amin. Kalau Evos ngasih lebih dari RRQ gimana? Bercanda, enggak. Pape bercanda Pape. Enggak Pape, mau gajinya dikasih 100 juta sama Evos, boleh sih.
Once something comes in, once Forsaken starts to get going, they can go in for those trades. Then we see the PaperX fold. The PaperX that we're all familiar with.
Lihat PRX begini tuh RRQ tidak buruk juga. Anjir. Emang jago anjir RRQ, lu jangan gitu, gila. Ada David, ada Hagai, ada Banyi, ada Jem-Kim, James. Lo nge-clip nggak canda-canda.
Was such a huge discrepancy for
Kapatuy, kalau gue gaji 100 juta, aku bisa nge-hire manager, aku bisa nge-hire Kapatuy.
Anyways, moving into this round, there's only one player holding that A side, and it's 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵. He's put himself the one-way smoke on Tree here to give him some form of anchoring spot. But thankfully enough, no one's gotten very close into challenging him just yet, but now they do. Prowler's been used. Wow. He's just going to get pushed back, and 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 just making sure that he is unoccupied by the rest of GENG.
Yeah,
bagus Kapatuy, bagus Kapatuy, bagus. Nice, Dafai, lagi Dafai.
Holding the backside, anchoring it for the moment.
Abort mission.
Waiting again for
𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵
to double up with him and try to do something as of now.
Dang, bro.
𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵, like that reposition. Wait, what is happening here? 𝘭𝘰𝑰 is trying to run away. He opens the door quickly, backs up, but something doesn't have to challenge just yet. 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵
What can you fucking do, Munchkin?
And he has so many angles to deal with the crossfires. Too numerous
Time out for GENG, time out.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵. This is
Kalau
the
harus
𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 the
lagi harus mau
going for those early aggressive kills.
Bagaimana mau bayar 200 juta sponsornya aja sih saya.
In fact, what they do is to kind of hold back. You've got 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵.
Well,
set up that one way. You know, you got hold your space. Make
Tidak
sure
ada
you
yang tahu.
gain map control. And they got 𝘭𝘰𝘯𝘵 just kind of getting
Saya ada keinginan
information
react
off of stairs.
𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 Mas Dean. 𝘭𝘰𝘯𝘵 apa ya?
Confirmed that it's coming through. They have an idea of where Meteor
Kucing kan? Iya, itu kucing. Beda tapi ya.
Picks up that first frag.
Yang ini manusia.
Does a little bit more.
Speaking of 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 here, he
Pengen 100 juta dari EVOS atau saham dari RRQ? Saham boleh sih.
I mean, yeah, sure, he doesn't get
Yang
any
banyak
kills,
tapi.
but the threat of him of getting that kills
Aku meja apa anjir? Kirain typo. Udah tahu.
I don't think I've seen Forsaken be successful in holding a site.
Meja
He's been
apa?
good at getting the lurks because he's Forsaken, but the setups that he's done on C really hasn't resulted in GENG being thwarted.
Ngajarin KTA oke nanti ya. Nanti welcome to Minty Dance, thank you. Ih kamu terscam ya Dems. Tapi thank you. Makasih welcome to Minty, Milk Tea.
Or at least calls them rotations over. They know that there is a bit of 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 presence all across the map. 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 is no longer really pushing out all that much anymore. So GENG now trying to play along with this tempo, trying to adapt to it, but
Meteor.
it burns down the timer. Look at the clock, Asteroid.
It's your time to die, bro.
Can actually go for that link.
Goodbye, Meteor.
And if something is too slow in this one, even if he escapes this, he's gonna get pinched in. Unfortunately,
tolong ya, diajarin. Kang tolong ajarin something ya. Oh nice, gue menang lagi.
And the rocket goes boom boom. That's gonna be 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 get the finalizing kill. And even though something falls, 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 were very quick to adapt and to respond to the offense of GENG.
I will take that budget bootleg boom boom from Asteroid. Not quite the one that we got from before, but
menang anjir.
Stop chasing.
Gue nggak diem juga menang.
You'll get it.
You were absolutely right with the setup that something had. I mean, I would have thought at least you would be able to secure at least one op kill, right? But the rest of the team reacting that quickly, but yet knowing to go for the showstopper that soon, that was what 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 needed. And that's why you got to have this setup from 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵. That's why they're not pushing out all that much.
Goodbye Meteor, never mind. Bukan goodbye Meteor, goodbye something.
Was talking about before, that lateral shift. You're not always the same 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵. You've got 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵 now.
Makan apa ya guys?
That much more control.
Sekarang Alik harus ngomong. Betul. Setuju.
They call themselves a timeout.
Yeah, and if I can just add, I've had the pleasure of also being able to cover the Indonesian scene because, Southeast Asia and everything. 𝘰𝘰𝘯𝘵's been there for a good chunk of time before he joined Global, right? And
nanti di Bandung mau cubit pipi. Lu gua pukul ya. Cubit pipi,
how
cubit
well they
pipi.
can adapt in these very tight-knit very crunched up situations.
Kenapa nih? Jangan diem ngomong terus, anjir capek cuy, gila ya. Makan gudeg gak sih? Tadi gue baru makan gudeg. Pengen makan es durian deh. Es durian kali ya? Aduh enak banget es durian ya Tuhan, kenapa enak banget sih.
That's right.
I mean, look at this, 9 kills for the man.
Back when he was an Onyx, you know, APAC, LCQ, he was doing things such as neon plays. Kid is talented. But, I mean, apart from that...
Can't believe he's
Asturan
10
Pride.
years younger than me, too.
Okay. I don't know how old you are, right? But anyway, I mean,
Duda
this is a
keren
round where
bukan?
Paperworks has some guns.
Gue gak nyari Duda ya, gila ya lu semua.
GENG, on the other hand, it's more of a half-ish,
Mau Asturan berarti ikut RQ keliling kota Medan dong? Medan? Kayak Medan nggak ada deh.
They called in that
Gue nggak tahu ya, kurang tahu guys. Medan atau enggak? Ada atau enggak?
feel for how Paperworks is defending this time. But something's not gonna make it that easy.
Ya Tuhan, anjir 1000 manusia di bumi anjir.
Close up in the face of 𝘰𝘯𝘮 there. Something's gonna back away, retreat. Danger, alert.
Astaga.
That nade
Nice try,
clearing up once
monyet.
again. Not big damage. But as that door keeps
Moving over
closing and
here.
opening, they don't know
OP-nya
how
skin
many
default, dia pakai
players
skin default
have
semuanya.
already exited, how many players are still
Gue takut
holding.
nih sama OP-nya. Nice.
It's texture, 1 down.
Ya Tuhan Yesus, something. Ya Tuhan Yesus.
Back his teammates if he wants to. There it is. Lockdown available, and Meteor opens up the A side by pure sheer power.
I gotta see the replay on that. I mean, it's so interesting and off-putting how GENG is approaching the map. It was a half buy.
Nice.
You just had this squad of stingers. But guess what? Here comes Forsaken and the Spike Plant goes down.
This man might not be the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he is the Guardian of Lotus.
Anjir.
4 kills for Meteor.
Di one tap hina begitu.
Guardian, man.
Meteor sih gila.
Dude
Meteor Garden ini.
tapping heads left and right.
Gimana nih?
Yeah, first of all, we had the space
Kalau
from
sini
GENG,
kalah
like I
kayak
was mentioning before. I mean,
time out
it's a
deh.
little bit weird to open the door and then just hide inside a tree. But then Paperworks
Observer
coming in
buff
to
kah?
investigate, and then off of that space, Meteor is
Jangan
the
kasih
one
something
that's
sniper.
really expecting to be there, and because of his sharpshooting,
aja tadi miss
he's
mulu.
able to pick off their
Gimana
hands
dong?
just like that. Something wasn't quite able to deal with him, and that's something that I definitely did not expect. I want to see something with his
udah kosong biar PRX
really
pulangin.
pop it off, but he's not doing it so far.
Mending Genji aja nggak sih, nanti kayak Genji udah capek
Abilities
gitu
that
mainnya.
can really flush you out as you know, a jet with an operator.
The shoot observer makin
Very
gila
hard for him to
deh.
do that. Yes, there's no big flashes from GENG here, but Prowler, Boombot, Smokes,
Lakinya
Paranoia.
07
There's
anjir.
a whole slurry of non-flash abilities that can really irk you if you're something. So GENG's been
Kalau
using
nggak dapet
that
sih,
to a very good extent.
nangis anjay.
Now going up against him as well.
Nice anjir,
However, he holds his ground, picks up
something.
the first one,
Lagi, Bang.
and backs away.
Aduh, close
So
banget
this
lagi.
gives Paperworks a little bit more information and inkling as to where GENG wants to approach from. Something re-peeks and holds the angle. Defy comes in for an information play, but doesn't find out too much.
Go! Something,
Here comes
go!
He's got the
Go!
tailwind
Fuck
again, so he can
man!
get out of harm's way if need
Fuck
be,
man, fuck man,
but
fuck
over
man.
peaks. That's gonna be the death of him. 𝘰𝘯𝘮's now trapped here on drop.
Kemana anjir itu?
That Han
Ke bind anjir.
supposedly giving away position, but
Nice,
somehow Forsaken manages to squeeze his way
Anjir tuh,
through the
anjir.
back of the side, leaving
Nice.
Cam by himself and find free for the pitch.
Prok jadi apa? Prok. Nggak jadi kebantai lagi. Iya nih.
One more round and
Ketat gini anjir, 6-6 lagi kah?
for the last round of the first half.
7 lah, 7-5 lah.
6-5. I mean, still a really close score, and it
Penting
doesn't
suruh
put
lepas
Paperworks
kacamata
out of
kali.
harm's way.
Aja ngaruh like.
And if you're thinking about it, I mean,
Iya
something
sih.
maybe didn't quite get the kills,
Dia
but
biasa
at
nggak pakai
least brought
kacamata nggak sih?
enough time, did
Penting.
enough damage for his team to arrive on scene.
Terlalu tajam kali ya ini ya.
Another thing,
Pakai kacamata.
Forsaken playing this role, you know, unless they're walking into his traps, unless they're going into him, we won't often see him popping off
Ya
that
bisa
way
game 3,
unless you know,
yuk.
he arrives with his team.
Yeah. And I love this from Forsaken. Again,
7-6
it's
lah.
old news, but I love how he's transitioned into this type of guy that can use
Actually,
these sentinels. And look at the man, he's still getting kills left and right.
3v1. Udah last judge anjir. What can you fucking do? Udah. 75.
Close the
Cepat.
distance somewhat. Maybe there's a world where he can use that Viper pit. But look at how many players of PaperX are just holding
Triple
that
pick
angle
time,
right
go.
up in his face.
Yeah, look at the cones of vision on the
Go.
minimap too.
Yeah. But they're getting closer.
Aduh.
Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. Oh, just think
Let's
about
go.
Alright, players, alright,
Yeah.
something wide swing.
Halo,
Okay,
Fahri.
okay, we got this.
Kalau PRX sebentar kalah. Diem ya. Udah berapa orang ngomong anjir, gila.
You know, score that you would envision for a team of this caliber. but still good nonetheless. 2 rounds ahead. If they can pick up the pistol, that would be even better. But of course, GENG has been showing us such a dominant performance today. I mean, these guys aren't buckled by anything that PaperX is throwing at them.
Bisa watch party, makasih Kak Patuy, love you. Kamu bisa watch party, semoga jam 12 sudah kelar ya.
I can't really say any names right now of GENG players
Kasih hati aja.
on Lotus that's making any plays because it's the whole team. You know, it's how well they're able to play off of. I feel like, you know, the setups that the Fate does, right? So, and then they just kind of feed off of that.
But I will say, I mean, like, if not for that, you know, previous map we might have seen Texture popping off like crazy. This one, I will say, Meteor was someone who kept showing up. He was the one who won that one round when they had nothing but a half-life, just using nothing but a Guardian. Meteor has been holding things down. Meteor has been dueling out against Forsaken.
That and the one, actually, thank you for saying that as well. There's that one point where he was
Nggak punya isi Oppo-nya.
gets Forsaken, single-handedly holds that site and allows GENG options. They could even keep pushing that A site or rotate to see where Meteor was. So absolutely right. I will agree with that. And boy,
Mending gue beli chat time atau Duran?
coming into this second half.
Duran atau chat time? Gak boleh expect ntar pilek.
Texture still has the kill leader too.
Kayak nyokap gue aja lu.
PaperX kind of does have to watch out, but of course now that Forsaken, you know, gets to stretch his legs on this attacking side, hoping that we can see a little bit more.
Nanti RRQ matchnya di WP Alik.
Won us
kok gitu?
Pacific finals last year, and then of course going to champions as
Menang
well.
anjir gila.
I don't need to introduce them. Everyone knows.
Yeah, how much effort with both teams actually fight for Rubble here? Because the thing about Lotus, at least in the person that we've seen for the most part, is people will just, do basically this. Commit the Rubble plays, and GENG, those nades are very deadly. My god, Texture, where'd that flick come from? Mind Freak, he's alone. He's got dark cover to work for days, but his opponent, you know, they can last for months. So
Duran.
you see how more that is.
Ya timing topping Duran gue
4
tonjok ya.
versus 1. He's repositioning around the corner here. Meteor hears him.
Kita pesen.
I wonder if there's a world where Meteor tries to stab Mind Freak here if he overpushes or doesn't even check the corner. But
no.
Play it safe.
Current teams, no. No knife.
Ya time.
Wishful thinking, man. Wishful thinking.
But I mean, it's just how they play. You know, very controlled. They know the setups. And I do kind of have a feeling that this is something that GENG had prepared. Studying game tape from PaperX before, knowing that this is definitely something that we want to go for, right? This Rubble control, it's so useful, gives you legs to have that option towards A or mid-link if you want to, set up split pushes. They want to deny that. And that one nade from Texture, not to mention 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦𝘯𝘵 and Texture pushing in together, just throws PaperX off so much.
Can I add as well? Munchkin's toxic screen was pretty huge for that, because usually you see that and say, it's the safety for the A side. No, it's the danger for Rubble for you if you're trying to push that. Speaking of pushing though, it's the C. Zoom in past Monyan.
Oh nice, anjir cepet mampus.
The double jumping PRX.
Anjir nice banget gila.
Yo, but they still got the shot,
man.
Apa-apa.
Duran makan nasi.
So although Monyan
Anjir.
makes it through, has a
Boleh.
bulldog, can't go up against Munchkin now.
Oh nice. Dan juga let's go kikis ekonomi mereka.
With a Marshall, 3 versus 1. Makes it a quick 2v1.
Ini kamu mendingan pakai ini deh Marshall daripada OP.
Spike. Very much out in the open for him. He's got a dash, he actually repositions. But wait, does that angle actually work for him? It's very risk, so he has to try to do something here. My god.
Hampir anjir. Anjir hampir. Tinggal dipencet sumpah. Nice try. Udah mahal.
Something overdoing it, going back into C-Long. I mean,
good, very good.
It was for the information, but he kind of overheated in that situation too.
Really close. I mean, at least had the right idea to tailwind out of that hairy situation and to play for time a little bit, trying to distract Munchkin. But, I mean, 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮. As soon as 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 goes in, though, just knowing to crouch and
power of friendship.
Yeah. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 is not always
tinggal dipencet. Tinggal dipencet anjir mouse-nya. Cuma lo nanya viewers. Oh iya, sorry. Sorry ya, teman-teman.
He's got a good head on his shoulders for sure. Something challenging here.
Tapi makasih ya opininya ya. Walaupun tidak valid.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we casted
𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮
last year, right, on Ascension Pacific.
Ya, tinggal 8.
Where he was on Damwon Kia. Did not really get an opportunity to really showcase what he's got there, but the GENG here, very much different in a very good way for GENG, by the way.
Of course, now with enough economical damage, GENG not having the best guns. You know, you got a Ghost on Texture, Karen on the it's Karen. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮𝘮 buying up, trying to do what they can. You've got
only one,
outlaw,
only poking Texture.
GENG just respects all of this
free
space and
side.
plays
Go,
for
go,
numbers
go,
instead.
go.
They kind of relinquish A, which means it's going to be a tough retake for them.
Fair enough. Especially with the rest of 𝘭𝘪𝘬 holding
Oh,
both stairs and A heaven. They've got everything
Lagi
locked
bang.
and loaded. They don't
Nice.
really need to
Lagi
stay
bang.
inside of the site. They can be proactive as much as they would want to.
Nice try, Mr. Kim.
Heron does get that angle against something, but damage is already done here, Quack. GENG, I feel like it's only going to be exits and a bit of economic damage that they can really do in this round.
Makes me wonder if it was like the barrel peeking out. But
Probably is.
Jadi nggak bisa sih mereka.
It's just Karen
Susah
still.
anjay.
And you know,
Kapan main follow sama Cadel sama Bang Kico dong. Bang Kaco.
Closer to a corner.
Bang Kico.
You can see your opponent faster than they do.
Oh,
We're not going to get deep
boleh
into that.
kapan-kapan.
Here in the corner of the wall.
Kebalikan abang rokok,
The closer you
sigaret.
are to a wall when you peek a corner,
Sigaretes.
the worse it is for you. The farther you are from a wall when you peek a corner, the better it is for you.
Thank you, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a round picked up by
14-12,
𝘭𝘪𝘬
14-12 menarik sih.
as they move
Boleh
forward.
sih 14 tapi PRX ya.
But GENG has definitely caught up, winning out that pistol in the subsequent round after that.
Nice.
So now buying back up.
Nice.
I mean, we
Lagi
saw
bang, lagi bang.
GENG
Nice.
this round really just kind of playing it safe. Still a lot of damage, but
Anjir.
apart from that, you're just thinking about
Kinky
how
banget.
else 𝘭𝘪𝘬 can come in, because here the game really starts to rev up.
And it's still so neck and neck, Quack. I mean, did we come into this day thinking that it would be this close between 𝘭𝘪𝘬 and a revamped GENG? I mean, yeah, sure.
How many of us voted for, predicted 𝘭𝘪𝘬 would win?
All of us except for William.
Except for Will.
Aduh, rokok lo apaan bang?
Truly is
Rokoknya
the Will I am.
ini.
Will he? We have 20 seconds, so I'm just buying time. You know,
Gudang-
for this time
gudang
out
garam.
to pass us by and get back into the action.
Makanya harusnya main nggak ada itu audience
We
kan.
haven't seen too much from
Iya
GENG
lah,
on the
orang udah
defensive
pada
side.
pulang
We
semua
know that
anjir
they
sampai
have the
malam kayak
potential to
gitu.
push out, especially with a player like Texture at their hands.
Yeah.
Time out
𝘭𝘪𝘬
GENG
has
tapi
to,
buat
you know,
ganti mejanya.
True, and again, they have to be very
Udah
aware
kebelah dua
of
anjir
how
mejanya.
strong the
Udah
rebel
ngamuk
control
Bang Alek.
can be for GENG here. Again, it was only a glimpse of
Rokok
what
berat
it could be on
sekarang,
that
Lik.
pistol, but it can translate into these
emang
gun
lo
rounds a
gila
whole
ya.
lot more. Now looking quickly into
Lo perokok berat.
ultimate cash of both of our teams. 𝘭𝘭𝘬
Nah,
has got
sudah
a
ada
little bit
meledak.
more of the strong suit with the blades
What the fuck,
and
man?
the showstopper available here.
Harusnya
But
main jam 2
GENG
malam anjir.
not lagging too far
Iya
behind, especially
makanya.
if they can get that one kill. He will
11,
have
semuanya
access to that
11 sih.
showstopper of his.
Which is why 𝘭𝘭𝘬 is trying to get a
10
read for
deh
that off of GENG's
Gila ya.
timeout. We've seen their game,
Lu
we've seen
gila.
a bit of their
Sekapan
C.
gudang garam jadi rokok? Bukannya
Haven't seen
gudang
all too
garam.
much else for now, though. I mean,
Namanya.
newly formed 𝘭𝘭𝘬 with 𝘭𝘪𝘬 now,
Tahu
just
bang, gua nggak ngerokok,
executing the
anjir.
C site, kind of bypassed
Nice.
Munchkin's judge. Oh, but look at that
Lah, kok
door
dapet
play
2
from
anjir di
Lakia.
mana?
Oh man.
Oh, anjir di
Again,
door.
the door opens so quickly that
Main
you
door.
can't really sometimes react to the punish that could follow up
Ada ulti,
from
Jir.
the defenders, and you see
Bang.
that activated so quickly here. Something now just going to be holding with the judge first. I do
Let's
like this
go,
because again, you don't
Amting.
want to play
Amting
that
Wong.
close and hope for accuracy. You just want to go for the pellets first of this shotgun. Munch is going to be first on the pedestal. He's getting very close. I don't know who's going to get this one. On the corner, he
Mampus,
will go
anjay.
drop down by something.
Aduh.
Coming in right now is going to be Monya using that showstopper of his to
Cakep.
delay even further.
Satu waterfall,
Meteor's
satu
getting
CT.
closer.
Go, go, go.
Lakia as well. They need to make something happen here. It's all down
Monyet,
to Lakia.
monyet,
Good for
udah
the burst.
bangun bang.
But there's so many
Bangun,
just
bang.
high angle position from
Nice,
𝘭𝘭𝘬
nice,
that
nice,
he
nice.
cannot even
Lo nggak mau join
enough
BTR 7 Lik.
to deal with. That's gonna be
Bentar.
9-7 for
7.
𝘭𝘭𝘬
Lihat
here.
kayak jingnya ultinya nggak pernah
Great solve on the
kena.
C site. You know, you got something, you have
Anjir.
bits of utility.
Lah, monyet yang
Divide
11-11,
the guiding
anjir, very
light as
good.
well. It just pushes Munchkin away enough for something to get into position to do
Emang harus
things like
beres
this. I
doi.
mean, he was really a lot more calm in this moment. And then picking up that Phantom and tailwinding away,
Boom, boom.
coming down to it as soon as they picked up those numbers, as soon as they
Nah kan
figured
batuk
out
es terus.
where
Enggak
GENG
batuk
was gonna
gila
approach
ya.
from. much more easy for PaperX to defend post-plant.
But again, GENG showing the same thing that they brought up here from that Breeze map, which is that they can punish the in-transit of PaperX, and they do it once again here in this round. Look at that. Something's been dropped down as well as Forsaken. 𝘰𝘯𝘮 frantically trying to get control here of C. Doesn't matter if he is alone or with teammate. What a dodge from
anjir, nice banget Mindfreak. What the fuck?
They're trying to rally behind that showstopper of great flash.
Kena Iko anjir.
And it's all 𝘰𝘯𝘮 alone.
Ini Marshall sama Deagle-nya boleh gila anjir. Sakit sumpah Marshall sama Deagle-nya.
I mean, all that utility, all those shots starting things off. We had the Sheriff, and all they really did was kind of just wait for that contact from PaperX. Once that green light was lit, GENG knew exactly how to get going, and it just definitely is a PaperX that, once again, starting to get in their own heads a little bit. You know, you got the previous round, things are starting to go. You know that GENG is on an eco, and you're like, all right, I can take them. You start to walk out, and it just hurts, man.
Yeah, no, I feel
Besan balik ke
and again, it boils down to, I don't want to assume, but it feels like they don't want to challenge A for the moment, because again, they're afraid of that rubble control, especially when they saw the texture was nearing his showstopper, so they wanted to try to go for B or C. Again, the adaptability of that is very quick. You can rotate either way because you have control of the board,
your ass,
but
Alikers.
somehow get pinched
Lo beli
in
apa jadinya?
transition of
Chat time. Kan kalian suruh chat time, jadi gue beli chat time.
GENG utilized that for the past 2 rounds. Now
Alex sama
PaperX
Bapke
feeling that
jangan.
pressure,
Suka.
gotta call for that
Semua.
timeout. It's not
Masak nih, masak.
GENG getting that huge advantage,
Alex tuh
but
cewek
every single
tuh.
time that you
Alex kalau
thought that
cewek tuh
PaperX
jangan
was
suka
gonna
jajan di
break away,
GoFood.
GENG, they're bringing it right back, baby.
Aku bukan cewek, aku cowok.
There's a lot
double standard sih? Apa sih?
go into with how
bisa
they're
gitu.
feeling and thinking about this game.
Ya,
But
padahal
of
gue
course,
Duren.
PaperX getting to buy up onto the next now. You've
Chat
kind
time.
of noted back on
Sekarang katanya Duren
Forsaken.
enggak chat time.
Something on that
Ih,
off
kupingnya
again.
lu pada, ih kacau,
But
kacau.
on the attacking side.
Masa klik cowok? Iya, aku cowok, baru tahu.
Okay. Oh, the Haunt actually gave away the position there of something as well as Mindfreak. Nade did stop PaperX for just a few seconds here, Quack. But not really the biggest of hindrances for now.
Just letting them gain control over this spot, but look at the positioning that they have. Texture is still up around, he could go up the ropes if he needed. And then you've got 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮 just ready to welcome them with open arms on the other side of Link.
Texture's trying to delay as much as he can at the back of the site.
Bunuh dia, nice banget. Wow, maunya udah menyala.
𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘮 coming in to pinch.
Ini skin apa anjir?
Some of this massive map control that
skinnya
PaperX
lucu.
has gotten on that A. Spike will
Dia udah
get
pernah melihat
planted.
ini skin.
It's all about the retake
Kayak
here for
setengah-setengah
GENG.
champion, tapi versi jeleknya.
𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮 here, making it a more palatable situation for
Goodbye Meteor,
PaperX.
goodbye Lakia, good luck man. Ayo bunuh Lakia, bunuh Meteor maksudnya.
Meteor's gonna just have to run away here.
Let the hand begin.
Whichever. They're already pretty rich, so they can just buy up to the next round
Wah,
anyway. So
anjir,
they can
monyet
make
banyakin dah
this into an
monyet.
expensive endeavor for PaperX.
Skin overdrive.
A little bit,
Overdrive yang mana ya?
little bit expensive, 𝘰𝘯𝘮𝘮 dying. But
Kayak
yeah, that's always
tiduran
funny
gila.
when you open the door. Hello,
Gimana tuh rasanya anjir, campur aduk.
Forsaken's on the other side.
Overdrive min yang warna
Sorry,
pinknya
just wanted to
bagus.
say, that's why a lot of teams on Lotus have now just been picking up the
Apalagi gue yang mana?
it's not brand
Kayaknya
new
Tanjay.
news or anything, but this is a big reason
Kayaknya
why
itu
you
pas
can
gua
just wall bang
lagi jarang main deh.
that specific angle, whether you're attack or defending, and it is such a huge, look at this,
Oh.
it's such a huge power play for you to be able to do that.
On the attacking side too, especially if you're behind rubble, you can spray through and try to catch someone as they try to approach. And that's what Forsaken is doing again, just to give PaperX a
Meninggal anjir
back
langsung.
control. Yo, Charon.
Kasih tahu.
Okay, a little bit of an overreach here for GENG for sure, as Mindfreak and Texture have
Let's
been
go,
just blasted away. Speaking of
door.
which,
Wow.
𝘰𝘯𝘮𝘮
Tuh dapat
to infinity
anjir.
and beyond, the showstopper comes to truly stop that show.
Let's go 13-8.
4 versus 3.
13-8.
We have a bit of calm here as PaperX do get access onto that A site, but the rest of GENG already right now the back of things. Meteor finding one, lockdown activated, but it is a little bit shallow. There still is position that you can play inside of 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘮 as well as outside right there of stairs, and something holding the blades as well as the operator. This makes the long range fights a little bit more palatable here for PaperX. Haunt does give away his position. They use that on to actually get closer.
Anjir, nice banget anjir. Di
for something. Something now against Meteor. 2
cover sama
versus 1.
Forsaken
The
anjir.
box not really giving too many angles for him to have safety on. And if he gets peeked, it's going to be one in the front, one in the back. That's going to be PaperX 11-8.
So although they picked up quite a bit, making use of the Killjoy lockdown, GENG got a bit of space, but the setup from PaperX was still just that good, and that's always the thing.
Main kapan wisuda? Wisudanya masih lama, lulusnya Mei awal atau April akhir. Wisudanya masih lama. Itu dia mas monyet. Udah deh, oh dia Satrio gue tonjok lo ya, mulut lo tuh ya. Bener lo, lo di Cina keluar yang bener. Dugem mulu, cewek mulu, tiap hari bungkus sini sana. Andrew. Kok nih? Kosong tante lu.
And I'm having fun, because that means that we're going to get a game.
Oh,
someone to keep
gila
their
lu.
spirits up. You know, if not something
Best wisuda nikah sama siapa? Sama Dio.
really in their heads.
Bye guys. Fancy karena mau nikah sama Dio. Oh, di akhir tahun. Iya, harusnya akhir tahun, soalnya UPH cuma sekali. Arsitek cuma sekali.
Wall has been called in a little bit closer into the A main position, and that actually works in the favor here of GENG. As you saw, Forsaken get blasted very quickly. They're very close into the opposition right now, but _Dy realizes that he has to come pinch in for his teammates. Oh my god!
What's happening?
Again, float like a butterfly, sting like a
anime
bee for
battle apa
something,
gimana anjir?
loving to use that floaty. Sniper is actually missing as they try to reposition quickly. Now they know.
Meteor lagi.
Meteor's position exposed. He's only got a Marshall in his hand here, Quack, and
let's go map 3.
Truly is danger time for him. If
Map
he
3 we
loses this, PaperX will be on map point. Wow. Okay. Meteor.
What the fuck?
That's the same Meteor that we saw from GENG last year, doing things with the Marshall. But still, I mean, when you think about it, PaperX definitely had this run in the
pusing aja,
books.
pala hilang gara-gara Marshall.
Very close to it though. 2 kills.
Nyusun skripsi total berapa lama? Skripsi gua skripsi 3 bulan, tugas akhir tambah 4 bulan, jadi 3 tambah 4 skripsi terus TA. Gitu. Skripsi nggak lama sih kemarin. Kok gitu? Di luar Nurul Meteor. Captain, let's go. Mau dibantuin skripsinya nggak? Beneran? Real or fake? Mending guys.
Make that your soundtrack, ladies and gentlemen. But as I was spewing some nonsense words, we've already seen some great impact actions here from GENG as
rotate.
Taken away from the board.
Udah di delay ini anjir.
Still threatening a lot of that control on
susah nggak sih? Masuk C. Lagi Viper anjir.
_Dy activates.
Aduh.
But Meteor is here to just again anchor things. Denies access into that C site, and PaperX will have to scratch their heads a little bit here. What happened? We tried to push in and actually fall on our heads. As Meteor repositions for this right angle. They might not know about this, and they will never do, as the smoke really just makes it difficult for them to gain any
way too much.
There's
so much delay that the rest of the PaperX members on the other side, if they go into this, it's not a favorable numbers duel. Something kind of losing to Karon on the other side of the map as well. It just doesn't quite work out for them. So GENG gets to extend their lives in this map.
Yikes, that haunt.
Satu lagi, finishing anjir. Yuk, closing yuk, closing, tutup. Mati gak?
Texture's now gonna
kayak lo gitu, aim ya? Maksudnya? Maksud lo? Oh, males banget ya penyakit PRX aktif 1 ronde lagi, men malah comeback. Ini susah nih closingnya anjir. Tapi enggak lah. Enggak lah, aman lah, biasa nggak gini.
Yeah, it's all these tiny
Alex
bits
marah
of
ya?
utility. You know, Meteor has the nanoswarm. It kind of slows down the rest of the
13,
team. They
12
can't quite
fix.
follow up
No.
yet because of it.
39.
And keep in mind, PaperX has spent
Oh
both
my
timeouts at this
god,
point.
bro.
They're on an eco. It's a bit of a half buy, but it's starting to bite them in the back.
Ooh, Karon!
Dapat lagi anjir. Aduh.
There's the quick flash from
Bang, udah bang.
Okay, oh, hold on. _Dy gets 2. But never mind. All right, I'll
Aduh, gua kuat nontonnya anjir.
GENG really having solid control on Rubble, man. There is no answer for PaperX.
Biasanya kan sama Jing like beda. Oh, okay, never mind. Biasanya kan sama Jing bener juga.
I mean, that's another thing with the PaperX structure. You know,
Yeah,
all of them are giving
anjing,
ideas as to how they want to
gitu.
approach the map or figure out ways to deal with GENG.
Menang. Aduh, nggak mungkin kalah, Jir. Nggak mungkin kalah.
This means, you know, unless there's
3-10, boleh lah 3-10.
we might actually have an overtime in our hands.
Tapi banget tadi kelas PRX rata. Gila lu.
PRX are running out of credits to actually fall back on for the moment too. This camera.
Texture and an off.
Yeah, there you go. Does give away the position too of his opponent right in front of him. It's only Forsaken really just holding A main. He wants
Susah begini
to be able to anchor this by himself from the looks of things. That will allow PaperX to, again, make do with Ellsworth. They're so far back from both sides, man. They haven't really done this kind of slower approach at all in this map.
Just not that much control. One-way smokes are all being spent up around this one spot. And then, of course, you still got Munchkin available with that toxic screen.
Let's go, cuman omeng
Very
bang.
difficult spot to hit right now, but trying to make something happen off of the Odin suppressive
boleh
fire.
sih, di flash atau diapain dulu gitu.
Okay, they open the doorway into
Oh,
tree.
shit, man.
Texture, here you go. Inside the
Shit,
smoke is going to be
man.
𝘰𝘯𝘀. Then PaperX are
Nice,
pushing blind into
man.
the side. They gotta just go for that big
Nice,
contact.
man.
Something. Finding Munchkin.
Kalau sakit, man.
Showstopper activated. Does that
Man,
stop the
nice,
plan on the
man.
spike? Yes, it will be.
Situ
But
yuk,
it's
bisa
straight for
yuk.
trade here, Quack. It's not the end of the
Aduh, oh,
world.
shit.
Something repositions. Almost gets hang by the rope side. Lakia
nice
pushed
banget.
out something. Exploding at this point.
1 HP.
There's the plant on the spike.
I want
2
HP
for
lagi.
Meteor, but Meteor
Kok 1
has
HP
truly
tiba-tiba?
been a miracle worker at this point. They're backing up into the corner and something finds it with the 4K. And we are going to map number 3.
I mean, in that last round, you could feel almost
Anjir.
the tension, the rage that something had seething behind him.
Sumpah.
Having had enough from those previous rounds, he pushes up. He picks them off one by one.
Capek coy
It was a
nontonnya.
great setup that GENG had. A brilliant idea, you know, playing off of 𝘰𝘯𝘀 and Texture. 𝘰𝘯𝘀 playing a bit of a distraction to try to step away. Texture holding the off angle with the operator.
Boy,
But
update
it leaves
dong,
them with
gila.
not much of an escape route. And something is able to take them down
Ini
that
udah update. Masa kalah lu Valorant GG sama Wikipedia.
To discuss things a whole lot better.
The score is now 1-1, and it seems like PaperX here, they are being challenged by GENG. We did see in the coach's interview that GENG did prepare specifically for PaperX, and it looks like they are showing
Ya,
they
mas
did
lagi
their
main iya,
research very
Jir.
well.
No, they very much did, but this was a much better effort
AKM
from the side
kirian
of
kata
PaperX.
dulu.
We can see
Apa sih
14 first kills
AKM,
there from the side of GENG. Only
Siapin kopi
AOM
mulai, kita lanjut
stands out with
Liga.
13-10 scoreline,
Lucu banget.
and now we go to map number 3. So we're going to get a nice little zoom in here on GENG's Sunset to see how they are prepared
Lu mau
for
apa
that
ya?
map and whether or not they're actually going to be able to close this one out. But this was
Cetan
still
gua, Jir.
similar to, you know, it's one of those
Babang
series that
Cetam gimana
these
Babang
maps
Cetam?
that just
Oh, Babang
doesn't
Cetam udah
really
mau nyampe,
tell the
bye.
whole picture by looking at the
Anyong,
scorelines here, because
anyong,
they
bye.
were so much closer. 13-10 already.
Kok dia
was so
mogok di
close
situ?
match.
Yeah, I mean, any of these, there was many that went down to kind of 1v1s,
Yeah,
1v2s, things like that, and many good chances for those clutches to happen. Obviously, none of them really coming through on the scoreboard. But the other thing is PaperX,
Nyantui dia.
I mean, they got to brush up on the pistols, right? And the
Yeah.
anti-ecos, because they are
Nih,
losing
diangkat,
either the pistol or the anti-eco consistently throughout the series. If it wasn't for that, this would actually be a much
Bener.
wider...
Sabar lah. Nonton dulu nih. Nonton, ya Allah. Jing dulu, nonton Jing. Udah, tontonan buat kalian. Bye.
He does watch, but like he misses like half the plays, no? But actually it's hard, it's so hard to watch party, like it's hard to read chat and watch at the same time, you know?
Sure, but I think one thing that's
He watches the replay, okay then I also can, you know? When there's like wait, let me lower the volume a bit.
But it's actually to constantly spam
I'll increase it again once the game starts. He rose 1% all game, though I was watching him when he was playing against, not when he was playing against, when 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮𝘮 was playing against NRG. And then after that, everyone was like making fun of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 because he had 0 kills. And then he was like, "Chat, that is not okay, man. Anyone that makes fun of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮, anyone that makes fun of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 will get banned." And then after that, like literally 2 seconds later, he makes fun of 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮. He talk, look at chat and eat. I watched that too. Like sometimes like I cannot tell if he's trolling or not, you know? Toxic like you, JJ, what? I'm not toxic. How am I toxic? The funniest is when he made fun of Angel. What did he say about Angel? I didn't see that. Both you and Terry are toxic streamers. What do you mean? I'm not toxic. He's professional yapper. Yep, same. The Angel flame. What did he say to Angel? Are you watching all 3 games today? Should I? I want to watch the next game, Bleed. And then the last game is what? Zeta? Who's the last game? Zeta and who? T1. Wait, that's also exciting. But every game today is exciting. Should I watch all or what? Watch all? Okay. We will see. Thanks for the Tion sub, Mosta. Thanks.
Way back when, before VCT started, that was also the trouble he had. If he wasn't fragging and carrying the team,
Watch the Terry Angel combo. Wait.
kind of close things out. And yes, I mean, it's a very tough opponent, and Meteor is performing very well.
Okay, wait. YouTube. Tariq Flame Angel. 11 minutes. Okay, tell me. Okay, guys, tell me when the game starts. Okay. Wait. Tell me when the game starts.
Let's see how let's see what Angel is got to say. Wait, this is GG. You guys actually saved my pick'ems. What the fuck are they just fucking doing, bro? Wait, I think Angel forgot he was playing the game, bro. Why did he run out like that? He didn't clear anything. He just fucking jumped out. Like he leaped out.
30 seconds left.
Let's get through the jiggle there. I think he did see something.
Angel! Angel!
Out in the open. Heads on a swivel. Team Liquid. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦𝘵 right? Yeah.
Move webcam or
close to the corner here.
My bad, guys. How do I wait? Oh my god, so bright. Wait. Okay, like this. It's okay.
Oh, he dodged the stun. Oh my god, his timing is incredible. His timing is so good. He's a goat.
Especially it's like funny to watch Angel play.
How did they win that?
He's like he doesn't care. Like he's not scared of dying. You know, he just goes. Thanks for the
shit. They should not have won that round. Angel thinks he's a genius. Show me the player.
Let me see.
No one's looking towards it.
Angel, how big is your brain?
I'm back.
Even going down in the first place, but they still cleaning up. Angel.
What was that?
Kok ternyata
It looks like Angel has no idea what he's doing.
dapat lagi. Ada jus.
He knows exactly
Ini
what
minum
he's
jus
doing.
dulu. Baru minum cat time.
I don't know about that. Is that the first? It works. Wow. Nah, that's not fucking Angel playing. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's 100% not Angel playing. There's some other motherfucker playing.
That when they played at AVL, it was.
There are some games where Angel just like kill
Durian gila lu.
guys.
Like,
I remember
Bang Winda live mandi, hah?
there's one tournament.
Tapi nggak seharusnya aku tonton nggak sih?
I remember it was Lotus and then he like killed like 30 or something. I don't remember, but he was 13.
Oke, cuci muka. Gampang aja ya, tinggal dioles-oles aja gimana ya? Oles.
Apa sih Bang Winda anjir lah?
Oke. Nah, sip. Oke, semoga gue berhasil nyelesain mandi gue nih ya. Kalau udah guys,
nggak jelas semua.
udah cukup, nggak usah lama-lama. Layar juga, kuping juga ya. Daerah kuping juga dibersihin teman-teman ya. Nah, kuping juga. Ya udah, kalian tinggal bilas wajah kalian. Kebetulan nih pakai shower ya, jadi enak ya bilasnya ya.
Mabar mandi bareng. Ya Tuhan bang. Anomali. Anomali anjing.
Akhirnya air dingin cuy. Nah ini sabun-sabun wajahnya ke badan dikit, kalian bilas lagi ya.
What the fuck?
Enggak.
Oh dia di ini kan, lagi di Lombok ya? Di mana sih? Pokoknya nggak di Indo aja.
Ya, tip. Selesai teman-teman, tapi ada satu lagi yang paling penting ya.
Sikat gigi bang, sikat gigi bang. Sikat gigi. Bang, sikat gigi bang.
Apa itu? Kita harus sikat gigi guys, kita harus sikat gigi guys.
Setuju bang.
Kita harus sikat gigi teman-teman. Dan udah ada
Jangan ikutin live gini, gila lu. Sakit.
Kita pindah kamera ya, teman-teman. Kita pindah ke sini. Nah, kita mau sikat gigi guys. Kelihatan nggak? Sebentar, gua harus ganjel nih guys, agak ribet ya. Goblok anjir, jatuh kan. Sorry toxic.
Aduh lucu banget nih.
Sama ya.
Lu nggak di Indo? Salah maksudnya. Nggak di Jakarta, nggak di Jakarta. Ini kalau nggak bisa jatuh ke bawah ayam.
Nah gini aja lah. Ya.
Gue cuma dapat anu kayak copot anjir.
Oke, sikat gigi guys ya, kita butuh odol teman-teman ya. Kita butuh odol ya, dan juga sikat giginya udah pasti ya teman-teman ya.
Masih coba.
Langsung aja. Aduh, mampet lagi odolnya. Nah, nih udah keluar nih.
12 menit. 10 menit anjir.
Oke, kalau gua sih sikat gigi kumur dulu teman-teman ya. Kumur dulu pakai air.
Pakai celana kolik. Oh, pakai celana. Bagus lah. Takut banget anjir. Winda takut banget dari lagi vacation padahal.
Baru kita sikat gigi guys. Kita sikat gigi ya.
Namanya pakai kalung. Agak. Pakai cincin. Terus kalung nggak? Turun dikit. Nggak boleh gitu. Gila lu, turunin dikit ya. Bang, like bang. Udah mulai. Anjir lah, capek sumpah.
You know, to break it easy. Right?
Iya, maaf. Ayo. Clickbait. Kagak clickbait, pecak.
Maybe Forsaken's fragment, but then that's not really what you want to use that for.
Forsaken,
So it's definitely a bit of a
head
scratcher. This entirely duelist
Dia
list
nggak pernah pakai
composition is
duel
not
sih di
something
sini
that
ya?
we see all too often. Actually, I don't think we ever see it.
Kayak selalu gini deh.
It is PaperX after all.
Say that 10 times fast, right? But I will say on Sunset, the Sage Walls are pretty insane because you can get into some good elevations that the smokes of GENG might not be able to blot out completely. That being this one as well, as we can see here on Market. But GENG is very aware of this, and 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘮 was almost taken down. But the separation, though, does allow them to get the pickup onto Munchkin. Now, rest of PaperX is going to be holding back the side.
Dang, Aaron di bos.
GENG not in a comfortable spot, and they're just going to have to try to wiggle their way out of this as we turn into the 2 versus 1. But this could be a quick transition if Meteor can find some good timings on this. But he gave away that location of his.
It's time for you to shine, PRX.
Camera.
Just a little bit known and
Apa ya,
obvious,
something nggak pakai
but
dulu
at the
sini
same
nggak
time,
terus. Iya sih, dari dulu juga
holding
kayaknya
things back.
emang
I
nggak
mean,
terus
this is
dah.
what we want to see from them on the attack, from the defending side. You've got
Cil lagi kasih round 1. Oh ya, sorry. Nih, round 2 ya nih, bikin dak dikduk anjir.
Be free in a target-rich environment. We know that they're going to approach from A main. We can just hold our ground and start picking them off bit by bit.
Nggak bisa di Marshall anjir.
Ghost shot, picking up the double
Nggak dapat
kill,
plan.
and that's the PaperX that we see.
At least for these next couple of rounds, before GENG gets those rifles, the Sage Wall is going to be somewhat harder to break down, so there should be a lot more safer position for PaperX to drop it in. Don't worry about that angle for a good chunk of the round and just be safe. Anyways, Forsaken, Outlaw, Contact, success. Actually, very successful. 3 kills for the price of 2 bullets. Very, very good start here for Forsaken.
That's, what, 300% success rate? No, that's terrible math. In any
How
case...
could you? We are, you know, we're supposed to be good at math.
Why?
Because we have phones that have calculators, and you can check it.
Good save, good save. That said, yes, I mean, we do have calculators. We have, you know,
Orang
the credit
notif lagi
scoring,
sih anjing ya.
you know, calculator
Enggak,
for us.
aman.
𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮𝘮𝘦 getting a lot of those frags, and it's immediately
Good.
putting a door stopper to anything that GENG throws at them. Not to mention Mindfreak out the lurk, and also towards the last
Dang,
kill
4K,
towards
bro.
Kara. They kind of knew that this would be where GENG was approaching from, and it's just a good check from Forsaken nonetheless. So interestingly enough, we're swapping around roles so much from the Cypher now to the KO. Oh, and a Sage Wall that boosts them up. That's what the Outlaw and the Sage is for.
A lot of the elevation, man. I told you, there is going to be so many
Hanya
cheeky
satu
positions that you
kan.
can utilize
Iya,
this
jir.
with. And of course, the
Kasihan
byproduct of
sumpah.
just blocking off a certain pathway that GENG will have to break or wait for it to break. Which, as you can see, forces GENG to be a whole lot more respectful of just, you know, pushing up into these certain positions. Ooh, Meteor. Boot spotted.
Yeah, they don't want to lose their full buy run all that quick, right? They don't want to give the bonus over to PaperX, and so just trying to be very careful off of it, cut noise, and then the execution through. Texture getting this first frag actually does so much for them because now they have more options. Not to mention,
Mid nggak dijaga ya?
Munchkin making use of tiles to walk up front on
Bolong
mid.
anjir.
Did they close the door on Market, though? That's still open, isn't it not? Okay, there you go. It's still closed up, so Forsaken doesn't have to worry about that for the moment.
Never
No
mind.
aggressive push out here for GENG just yet, Quack. Maybe waiting for, or just letting PaperX come for the
anjir,
moment,
nice
but
banget.
since they
Anjir.
have, some of their players have to go for the half shields, that Outlaw, absolutely terrifying. Texture's already here at the front lines, and the damage, the aim, the lethality, absolutely felt. Forsaken pushing in, picks up so many weapons. This man is an absolute Inspector Gadget. Karon.
Can't read.
He's waiting for his teammate, though. He's waiting for something. Who has the wingman? Oh, no, the stun. The way he actually loses is he does not Karon. 2 headshots, holds it off, even through the pressure of utility, chasing him down to the ends of the earth.
Anjir,
You
dikit
can
lagi
definitely see a slight bit
anjir.
of miscomm, a bit of a mishap towards the end of that round.
Aduh,
Forsaken
ini lo
starts
tadi
things off
sumpah nice try.
incredibly well. Of course, GENG tempers with that.
Anjir lah.
Trying to play carefully around mid as well, you know,
Anjir.
gathering up
Panik
towards A and then
cuy.
executing in. But then, just at the end of it, although Forsaken picks up the frag, you know, like you mentioned, swapping weapons, something I think wanted to pick up
Jauh
another
banget tadi padahal,
rifle
anjir,
and
si
just,
Jason.
you know, wasn't quite there to support Forsaken uncharacteristic whiffing. So Karon just pops off, and now back to it. PaperX does not want to let up.
Again, that's what's talking about it, man. This Karon newcomer for
Ngepick lagi.
GENG already showing why he's,
Dang.
you know, in that spot. This time, though, it will get punished. Divide
Dafai.
holding a very
Dapat, anjir.
high angle here, not getting it spotted, so he
Almost.
will get some damage in, but Meteor somehow manages
Foto
to get that
video
backside
gimana?
control already, opens it up. Will not have the North up for the moment at least. Does he activate it?
Nice,
Paranoia,
bro.
huge.
Go.
Is
Ulti
he
dulu
really
bang.
gonna thrash for the
Take your
overkill? I love
time.
this.
Woo!
And Lakia,
Goodbye, bro.
welcome.
Dipisahin,
Okay, I
anjir.
was about to welcome him,
Bangke
you
monyet.
know,
Anjir
to the
4K weh.
blades,
See
to
something.
Tondo Gaming, even though it is
Apalah ini gimana?
PaperX.
Alex gak ada tinggi.
Yeah, we're not Tondo.
true. We are in
Anjir.
Sunset. You know, it's located in what, LA. Thank you.
Very good.
But you gotta admire the movement, the way that something plays off of this. You know, just
Ditambah
securing the
aja.
round.
Mikey,
yeah.
yeah.
He's off for that 4th quad, right? And also one more point after having spent the Thrasher.
Something
But
gak
it's
terlalu
mainly, you know,
sniper.
playing off of that
Iya,
Dizzy,
kasih ke
they managed
Jason
to pick up
anjir.
those kills as GENG tried to play through mid. So PaperX definitely adapting around it, getting a lot of good information because of their utility.
And again, you know, just to get in a different point, it felt that this is the comeback for something in this specific or in this specific series as
Aduh,
Forsaken.
gila. Jason masih jago banget anjir
Still putting
OP-nya.
the hours in that
OP
outlaw, man.
lagi.
I mean, he doesn't even have to
Knife-nya.
deal with the headshot. It's all body shots for him.
It's an answer back to whatever Meteor and Texture did to them on that map 1.
Fair enough. Mindfreak now repositioning. Smoke doesn't allow him to push outside of Market cleanly, but
Shit, man.
yikes. Is he gonna get thrashed in here? Actually into the pit with Texture and teammate. Doesn't matter though.
Dang.
As they chase
Nice.
𝘰𝘯𝘮 into the back of the side, 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮𝘮 was there to trade him off.
Not afraid, right? To throw his body in so that his teammates can kind of use him for information.
Pakai apa aja sih?
And that's kind of how 𝘭𝘪𝘬 reacts so quickly. As soon as they can confirm that the hit was headed towards the site, you had everyone rotating over and just to kind of set up around it. Forsaken getting those 2 kills just pretty much confirms that the hit was headed towards B.
Okay, I was waiting for like something else for him to say, and he just said guys, so yeah.
Guys,
Anyways,
guys aja.
Change of graphic means that we are calling
Forsaken
possibly from GENG. I don't think 𝘭𝘪𝘬 will, you know, with how much aggression and success they've had in these rounds, be the one.
Ayo, udah.
And because you're absolutely right, right?
Mukanya serem anjir.
It's getting so much
Takut
impact
banget anjir.
as of the moment, and it seems like again GENG can't really find that answer against it because they've just been slow creeping up into positions where Forsaken is ready for them. And another a double up to this is he's not the only one playing. It's him. Right behind him has been something, right? So if he misses, something immediately throws out the Dizzy at a high enough angle. It flashes the rest of GENG back away, allows Forsaken or something to reset the fight and put themselves in a position where they're more ready to go for the second encounter.
That's actually such an interesting thing about this composition because the initiators kind of double up as duelists. They don't have the same mobility, but with the flashes that they've got, it's almost like a Phoenix, but better.
Yeah.
And it just really, you know, kind of allows them to make such plays, but it works out on the defense. On the attack, we'll have to wait to see. Right now, GENG has caught the timeout, so they've definitely switched something up, going for the full commit into A instead.
They have
Showstopper.
very much committed a lot of utility just to get into A main. They haven't even pushed yet on Link. They haven't committed to push yet on Elbow.
I'm scared about this Elbow.
Truly, but look at how many players are already here on tiles. Does Munchkin hear the footsteps though?
I don't.
He tucks himself in the corner. They might not be able to clear him out, and he might get the best sandwich position of his life.
Oh shit, masih ada CT.
Which he does. The buy does go for a trade. No walls just yet. He actually boosts himself up. What a Chad moment here from the buy. Texture left on an island. He's got the showstopper. The buy, say your prayers, and that's gonna be that GENG. Oh my god, they got pressed by 𝘭𝘪𝘬, but they got themselves out of a tight situation, courtesy of the man, the myth, the Texture.
Made the round expensive, but yeah, Texture. What a way to bail out the team, just committing the showstopper.
Standing.
And truly blowing things up to secure one more round for GENG. Ooh. That said, though, I mean, 𝘭𝘪𝘬, what a great way to push down tiles.
I love the reaction story that he just did.
PRX mau update pub di IG ya, Selik. Anjir. Nggak ada pap-papan.
Alright, same play here for Texture.
Gue kasih papnya Boni aja mau nggak? Boni, Bolu, Bocil.
No, they're really pressing up into this. They're not slowing down compared to last round here, 𝘭𝘪𝘬. So it is a full commitment right now for GENG. They want to get a quick start onto this post plan from the looks of things. They want to position for that, for the goods of this, as I mentioned, post plan, and save up as much utility for when 𝘭𝘭𝘬𝘬 tries to come in into the site.
Siapa anjing?
Yeah, right. Same
Anjing gua.
through. They know that 𝘭𝘭𝘬𝘬 is definitely not going to make the
Betul
exact
sekali,
same play.
anjing.
Something
Anjing
invested
saya.
into this operator as well. So unless they can get clear vision, it's going to be so difficult for them to break through. But that's a great way to start.
Absolutely. Meteor into the corner here. Loving to use of the wingman to actually clear corners rather than defuse the spike.
Goodbye,
if it gets
Texture.
the target, that's an
What can you fucking
immediate
do?
concuss for you.
What can you fucking do, bro?
Texture's just so far. Even if he
Hammer,
can win some
bitch.
of the fights here, he's just way far from stopping something from defusing that spike.
Dia anjing gas upload Bocil, Bocil. Ini map defense apa attack? Menurut saya, menurut saya attack.
I mean, the Outlaw being fired off,
Yeah,
and
guys.
everyone else is coming in just as quick. And you're talking about Texture, but 𝘭𝘭𝘬𝘬, the movement that they got, I mean, 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 is just a little bit more comfortable on this this Omen.
Good. Makin bagus anjir mainnya si monyet.
Where 𝘭𝘬𝘬 wanted to push out of his flash, but he flashed nobody. And then he just didn't know how
Enak
many
minum es.
players of 𝘭𝘭𝘬𝘬 to deal with
Sorry, Mama.
as he was holding that specific angle on
Pakai apa lagi anjir something?
So off of that round
Johnson
now,
with
it's another save
his
for
outlaw.
GENG. Try to play things slow and careful. They don't have all too much. You've got texture on the Guardian.
61 dikasih enak, 43 dikasih paham. Siap.
Back towards A. And you can see that PaperX are changing things up again. You've got control over B shops, B main, and you don't see anything. So you have an idea of what's about to happen. That is why 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦 as well as
Lino lagi bucin anjir sama om-om itu.
And again, if this is
Pusing gue liatnya
full
anjir.
commit to like majority of the players of GENG, if they push out through elbow like this,
Whoa, what the
the
fuck?
slower from Device
But
is gonna
nice.
stop them dead in their tracks. With the paranoia, that is a death sentence here for GENG if they're not careful. Thankfully enough, because of the smoke that they had, it allows them to get access to the site. But it's a complete and utter disaster when PaperX comes out to reclaim what was theirs.
That's just a pretty
It's time to
lovely
win.
spray transfer. I mean, you're absolutely right, that's right. It's just a bit of a death sentence for GENG. You know, they see that they don't really have any options, might as well just commit to something. But what they did not expect was such a setup. First of all, Monyet in an elevated position, and then like you mentioned, right, 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮, he could have thrown out the slow orbs, but he was also just in position to gun down anyone that tries to step through. Now we've got some ultimates on the side of PaperX. We've got 3 coming out from GENG. But, you know, they're not really the ones that you want to initiate fights. GENG needs a catalyst.
Speaking of GENG, they're still going for it. Sanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Thresh push down mid.
Expecting for different results. And the different result is, you're absolutely right, PaperX, they've committed for this mid control. They thought that GENG would actually mix things up and try to go for that mid play. And it isn't. It doesn't. It's gonna be GENG once again holding for A, but Meteor is lurking. Maybe that's the difference.
It does buy a little bit of manpower away from the rest of GENG, so Meteor stays towards the back. The rest of them come back towards the front of A. And maybe we just retake from Link.
Thrash activated for the second time. 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮 cuts off the corner. Plant denied, actually. Texture somehow manages to pick up a kill with the paint shells. No safe space just yet for GENG. They have to start holding some crossfire angles while they start defusing the spike, and he's using his teammate as some sort of third POV info gatherer. Not gonna allow them to push up just yet because of that toxic screen. And here comes the contact, and Texture is coming out on top of this, and it's somehow working somewhat favorably for GENG for a moment right now. But again, no plan on the spike just yet. Numbers still favoring the Korean side though. Something comes in with the operator, dwindles the numbers a little bit. The TP comes in around the corner. How close does he know? Very close, he knows about it. Oh my god, no way Meteor.
Anjir,
And he's out in
jantung
the open
anjir.
field, man. Out to
Nice.
get laid out and dry, and PaperX full control.
Sumpah, jantung
It
sih
was a
lumayan
nice
tadi.
flick from Meteor, but yeah, not quite
Sian
enough. Full control
monyet.
from PaperX. I thought things were starting to get really dicey, especially up around Link. I mean, if you look at what
Why
GENG
am
was about to do,
I'm here just to
they
suffer.
wanted to get that spike down, but they couldn't quite do it because of the Thrasher that came in, because of this looming threat that was PaperX. However, Texture was just held on the other side. And if you look at the layout of the map, there's so much more space around alley, around elbow, and that's what GENG did. But as soon as that op sounded off, man, things started to go wrong. They had the pressure of the time against them.
And playing on the side itself, unless you're getting pushed in, you don't really have great line of sight on any position on A.
Mendingan beli up lo ya.
That's just very bad boo-boos here for GENG.
Boo-boos.
Now they're mixing up. For how many rounds was it? Like 4 or 5 rounds straight.
Udah
They just
cakep, udah panas nih.
kept going A, and now they're gonna try to go pull their way onto
Look at the setup on B.
something with an op too.
Goodbye, bro.
Oh wow, they might actually get collab here if they're not careful. Into the corner is also Mind Freak.
Annyeong, annyeong.
They've come into the
Annyeong, annyeong,
trap,
ulti bang.
of PaperX here.
No.
Come into the spider's web, as they said. They're gonna have to try to pick up this spike if they
Goodbye,
can.
bro.
Something's just denying it every single time. Meteor's here. 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘮 knows about it, and
Berasa
PaperX
fun match. Mental juara lah.
is the
Mental
world
juara
back in
2
order.
sih lebih
They're
tepatnya.
8-2 here, Quack.
Very much more comfortable, but then, you know, it is still just the first half, right? I still want to see how this composition works on the attacking side. But that said, I mean, this is such an incredible performance. You're talking about it, the PaperX fold, but it's also just how they are controlling the map. GENG actually looks a little bit lost, although they possibly have studied how PaperX played this before.
Baru game pertama.
But that was when GENG was still in. That was when they had a raise. This is
very different. They're not pushing out all that
Rasa
much.
jadi yang
And
kedua
whenever
gimana?
GENG just hangs back
Like mulut,
and
like.
waits,
Ah.
PaperX has
Kenapa?
creep up. If
Something
they have
kenapa
control
skinnya
over
gosong ya?
B-main every round
Nggak
just
tahu.
like that, with something on the off to fight with the off angle on a Vandal, it is so darn difficult for GENG to fight back and wrangle for map control.
Absolutely. It does stems to how much more control they have on that defensive side, right? You were talking about it. Honestly, I was actually thinking, you know, we were conversing before the game started that it could actually be Monyet that picks up the Raze because it fits well, right? Jake on AVL.
Awas aja ya, ada tag post segala macem. Awas tuh ya.
No, PaperX do a curveball. PaperX things.
PaperX things.
Yeah, you can already see a bit of stress for the coach here of GENG.
Let's go, GENG turun, LRQ menang.
Hoping to get themselves these 2 rounds as we are almost coming into a close for the first half.
Tell you what though, Asterai, we've got 4 ultimates on the side of GENG. Texture on this showstopper, I think, is the one shining light that they were looking for. They could really use that to break apart PaperX. So I wonder if Alex can anticipate this. But looking at Devi,
I mean, he does have the safety of Monyet right with him. They don't even know if Devi's boosted here. They are aware of it. Oh my god! Devi might actually
Nice.
It's the PaperX security
Nice
system.
Cahya. Nice.
And just as the smoke comes up, Devi gets a whiff of Meteor pushing in. And
Dan gini
it's just
pengen
the
interlek.
blink of an
Lo
eye
malah.
quack
Lo
to drop down from GENG.
Gue juga sih ngantuk anjir. Tau udah ya, TP 1 game aja ya, 1 match.
How do you recover now? You've lost Texture, you've lost Meteor, both star fraggers. Maybe Charon, but I don't know how much this Paranoia can really do. Look at the sight lines that PaperX has covered.
Ini gak jadi react AKMG. Nggak jadi, nanti deh.
You're gonna get fragged. If you go
Bisa sambil minum nanti.
maybe,
Udah mulai.
but it's a full 5-on-3 retake. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's the worst
Mundur,
possible opponent they
Bang.
wanted to give the kill
Satu
for.
lagi.
But again, there's nothing really that GENG could have done in this situation other than go for that close contact. I was thinking they wanted to actually get someone so that they can get into a site. They had the Viper's pit, but the one person that they didn't want to give a kill when they have a pit is something because of the Thrash.
Terus sih ngambilin kopi malah
So many
capek.
things that
Gue
was
gak
working
boleh
against the
minum
favor here
kopi.
of
Gue
GENG.
mah
So
anjir, ntar
interesting how
muntah.
this composition's actually so good against
Gila.
GENG right now.
Udah panas bro.
Apart from
Mesti
that,
main aja
also
like.
just how Devi
Ngantuk
was holding off
tidur.
AV, man, the celebration's going off.
Ambilin dulu
I
deh.
mean, that wall
Ambil selimut.
actually, throws off Texture a little bit. If it wasn't there, he might have just felt a lot more free to dive right in with that rocket, but not
Bang,
now.
ulti bang.
Back off to this though. Last round of the first half, let's just rush into B. Why not?
Imagine if he actually didn't pick up the rifle there. That would have been very, very bad. Anyways, everybody's blind up until this point,
dang.
but that snake bite
Ya,
man, they're
goodbye
just
dah
coming
mainnya
into
GENG
this.
udah gak tahu kenapa
We'll call
anjir.
this the PaperX grinder.
Bagus.
Pushes it up.
What the fuck?
There it is, 2 remaining players on GENG, now down to 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦. He is lighting things up like a Christmas tree.
Hampir anjir.
But it's all for naught as he loses the bullets, and there's
Okay.
still 2 remaining players of PaperX
Ambil
alive.
selimut dulu. Saya turun.
But still, yeah, this PaperX branded grinder sold to you for $19.95. Chew up pepper grinds and everything else along with it. And along with it, some GENG members. Unfortunate, but it's just that last round. They didn't have all that much left in the bank.
Yeah.
And they just want to try whatever they could throw.
What did it say? I wasn't reading it.
My BF loves you more than me.
It's okay. At least you know where the extra love comes from or goes to.
We've got their
bos.
love for every single one of these players out there. They're all trying their darndest to give us a good show. But it's definitely not easy right now for GENG to fight off against PaperX.
Jangan
10-2
endanger
at the end
my
of the first
career
half,
deh.
Asterai. Although I am wondering about how PaperX's composition will work on the attacking side. It also bears saying that now that they've got so many round wins under their belts, all they need is 3 more, and that's not all that much. If GENG can't even pick up a pistol, it's going to be trouble. But that is something that our desk was talking about. PaperX needing to get more pistol rounds, needing to secure those subsequent rounds after the pistol too.
Seorang wanita karir, sangat
Be the
korporat.
make or break for GENG.
Kalau
Because
karir,
when
like-
you're in this position and you lose the pistol round as GENG, you're forced to force buy. You do not want to play 12, let's say 12
Sekarang mainin nggak sih
to 2
sekalian?
or yeah, 12-2 with nothing, but you know.
So
yeah,
like when it's 11-2, you got to straight up just force by, try to scrounge something up together.
Absolutely.
And that's why there's a little bit more pressure onto these GENG players' shoulders right now. They have been showing us a lot today. Texture has been fragging out. Meteor as well. Let's see if they can keep it up.
I also wanted to add as well, 𝘧𝘰𝘮, he's been the utility boss on this game. You know, no safety for himself. He just full blast, get everything, no shield, all utility. Man is giving his effort. He's giving his life for �ヹ𝑟x at this point. There's the wall. Cross it up. No tripwires to be afraid of. Wow. Planting the spike very quickly with the wingman. Backs away safely, only leaving. Actually, no. 3 players very nearby, willing to fight inside near the smoke.
Crazy. Dizzy out as well.
Anjir, rata cuy.
But look at how cleanly 𝘹𝑟x are just breaking them down. This wall is separating fights from GENG. They can't even create these crossfires anymore. And now here's the number game. But GENG strikes back, leaving 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 by himself. Does he have the time? Does he have the ability? Does he have the angles with the Sheriff? And that is a resounding no. GENG, when all looks lost, 𝘹𝑟x pushed in and they counter, they strike back.
This might be a data reference, but that's a no for me, dog. Dude, I mean, they look so good on that execute. You got Wingman, little homie, getting the plant in for you.
Anjir, bercanda
Nobody was
rata.
there to do anything because of 𝘧𝘰𝘮's wall, right? Blocking off market that way, but
Tinggal main emang bentar,
holds back. I
22.
was a little bit, feeling a little bit iffy about a full 5-on-5 retake. But as soon as the firefighters started to break out around pillar, 𝘹𝑟x started to push past the pillar, and there was that little bit of a crossfire that GENG made use of. 𝘃aron getting those frags out now. 𝘧𝘰 just couldn't have a good time. So, GENG moving forward.
Great start, you know, for the second half. We're talking about how it's not yet over just yet. Okay, Monyet finds it.
Aduh, untuk banget lagi.
Quick trivia, by the way. If you're gonna be a Cypher, you know, playing outside of B, you want the tripwire on the floor because it's harder for the opponents to break it. But obviously they can jump over it. But you know, just quick FYI. Anyways, going back into this for 𝘹𝑟x.
Sorry bang, ya bang, kalah bang. Ini kalah selalu ya, Min bilang easy tadi. Anjir, gila lu gua mulu kena.
Can even find something with the judge on him. Absolutely not. Texture does force back everything, and then you can see 𝘹𝑟x trying to find a different angle at this point, coming up the top mid, but 𝘃aron denies with that Spectre.
Bang, ambil dulu bang.
There's a little chance Forsaken with the judge. I don't know how useful it's going to be.
Not looking good, bro.
Is the one that you want to watch out for.
One enemy remaining.
There he is. Doesn't want to overreach his lead too. Right? They still know that any player of 𝘹𝑟x with any upgraded weapon is very much scary to deal with at this point, so they can always just do that. Yep. Put him in a spot is most advantageous here for GENG. A solid second round in that second half.
Yeah, let's bring back some GENG rounds. But of course, it's a good bit of damage coming out from 𝘹𝑟x as well, so a couple of these players,
like everything is useless when you got good
not
aim.
quite being able to afford the bigger guns.
Bener sih.
That would be a problem as 𝘹𝑟x seeks that match point.
Tinggal lah kalau misalnya di VCT mah everything is needed, anjir, tim segala macam, comms gitu-gitu.
Really play off of this, either bait your teammates or
ya kalau emang good tim ya semua one-tap-in aja.
Like how the Blade actually clears more of B main. Since, you know, on bonus round, some players will just play on the back of that board.
Ngantuk bang, anjir gua ngantuk banget cuy.
Activated quickly. Not sure if it heard where the tripwire was, but Monyet is very much controlling this back angle for now. 𝘧𝘰𝘮 also leading in, or rather defending the gap. So it's a pretty clean take here from 𝘹𝑟x. They just had to use a bit of utility, but it works solely in their favor.
Still though, that fight across the pillars.
Crispy aim, dang.
Can he get his ace? Oh yeah, he can. There it is.
Ace cuy.
He was the sword, he was the shield, he was the healer.
Gua ngantuk anjir.
That's the 𝘧𝘰𝘮, the Swiss Army knife of 𝘹𝑟x.
What
you need him to be, he will become.
The boulder and the mountain.
Gila.
Yeah.
Shush.
I mean, it was a bit of a round against a half by, but you know, you were talking about the tripwires, you were talking about the executes coming through. All of that is actually just straight up negated because of *𝘰𝘯𝘴𝘤𝘳𝘵's barrier orb.
My ace.
Meteor can't really do anything against it. He might have the tiny gap, and even if a trip does go off, it just gets blocked.
Anjir lucu sumpah 𝘭𝘰𝘮𝘮.
That's a big problem because they want to get that punish, right? 𝘭𝘪𝘬 is so far in front of this. That pop flash is
nice try,
gonna blow up in his face. 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦 does get the trade. It does signal the �ㄅ𝑥 to start moving their way quickly into A main. 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝘮, because of that ace, also now has his res up. So they're looking for a trade here where they can either bait their teammate for a res or just res them to res them. That makes sense. Oh, 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝑗 finds one.
Kasihan lu gimana anjir diangkut.
Meteor holding at the corner of this site. Look at how GENG has just gotten all control in A main. This leaves �ㄅ𝑥 in such a tight bind. If they realize this, they might be able to push at the back of the site. But at this point, Munchkin and 𝘰𝘮𝑗 just grinding their gears and cleaning up the rest of 𝘅𝑥, trapped again on elbow.
Yeah, a bit of that inverse where 𝘅𝑥 wanted to retake from the earlier half. This time, GENG just making sure that their feet are planted firmly on A site, gaining control over, you know, the side,
Paling ganteng di PRX siapa?
alley, and
Paling
then
ganteng siapa ya?
Munchkin coming out from the back of the elbow. 𝘅𝑥 were the ones stuck in that choke point. So it's a little bit awkward, especially when Manya dies that early on in the round. But again, keep in mind, only 2 rounds away from closing this out. Alex calling the timeout now.
Okay, sorry, I was getting into the vibe of the timeout here, but you know what, GENG, they're getting their second win. It looks like they have a lot more understanding of how to play when they're the ones on that defending arc, right? And it is working a lot more for them. The thing is, I also wanted to add, you know, we were talking a lot about how the barrier orb is negating the tripwires and everything, but if you look at it, they are committing a lot of utility just to go through into the site, which doesn't leave a lot of post-plant abilities here for 𝘅𝑥, so it feels like it's just going to be raw aim. Yeah. But then at that point, GENG can match them up, which, again, works in favor of GENG.
Has been on the pistol.
Exactly.
I don't think 𝘅𝑥 does that too often, though, unless especially they have the Thrasher and they really want to make that play work.
Fair enough.
What we haven't really seen too much of is a play from mid. I think 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 tried to explore that option earlier, but didn't quite work out too well. So it's back to another A. Question is, how do we break through elbow? How do we break through this main push? 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝑗 is holding such a tight angle. And of course, you've also got 𝘰𝑪, who's possibly going to position himself in an elevated angle up towards either site or link.
Wow, look at how both teams actually scramble from A main. Imagine if 𝘅𝑥 just pushed that.
I could see, yeah, a timing push, though. If they throw that dizzy past the bells, might be good. Maybe they're just waiting for that smoke to go off.
𝘰𝑪's already out there, though. Even if he gets like double blinded for the paranoia and the dizzy, he's already out. That's why they actually left it, because Meteor has this camera marking him all the way on elbow, spots out something, so that means that this could be a straight-up push. Where the tripwire is for Meteor here, that's going to be the important part right now, as 𝘰𝑪 is going to try to feed off of it. Paranoia into the corner. This is going to be a very tricky time for 𝘅𝑥, and they're going to have to try to do a lot just to get into that site. Quick little res for 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝑗, or rather for Forsaken, but immediately gets refragged by 𝘧𝘰𝘮𝑗. Thankfully enough, 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝑗 was there to punish. Thus
Very fucking winnable. If you lose, I don't know.
The site taken. The numbers advantage for 𝘅𝑥, as well as the long rotation here from the rest of the GENG players still alive.
Trade's good enough, but Texture on the flank.
Okay.
Oh, dang, man. Guys, satu lagi, guys. Satu lagi menuju streamer turun.
Something, but you're absolutely right.
Teman-teman, ada faktor anjir, kurang ajar.
They only need one more.
Setiap WP ada fase batuk pilek terus diungkas streamer.
Although, yeah, it does not do all too much against 𝘰𝑪. It gives them enough space. And once they had that space,
Anjir, satu
they were
mati.
able to execute into the site, you know, just making use of the flashes again,
Hidup mati lagi,
going
cuy.
past it, having the players to really come in and trade out for each other. That's 𝘅𝑥 style. Every single one that's capable of fracking. And also, 𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘦 having a good time, the young gun on the stage.
Tapi kok gue gak ngeliatnya clutch gitu ya?
Sorry, I was letting you finish off.
Tadi kayak cuma Aaron doang deh sekali yang mainnya
Genji was
clutch.
trying to just get that heavy contact on B main, hoping that ПрX was huddled up. Not gonna happen this time. ПрX immediately activate that null command. And is this kills step into the direction of kills? Wins rather for ПрX in this series. Meteor gonna have to run away for dear life. Thrash activated once again here by something. Divide holding mid control. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦𝘵 wins that out. So at least they have to deal with the possible flank. But control of the site and timer started to tick down here for ПрX as that spike has been planted down. Okay, Paranoia is activated. This is good. They're using this to bounce texture off with the showstopper. Flash out for Forsaken. Oh my god, how did they actually get these punishes? But still, 𝘂𝘮 lights up the entire house. 2 versus 1. 𝘰𝘮 coming into the corner right now. And it's all up to him. Can he get it? First one. Very low HP, but 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 blocks it in. 12 to 6, and GENG hold on.
Anjir, tadi di ini. Di live-in sama si Jason ya? Makanya hilang dia. Anjir.
Having to do extra work. A little bit more difficult. GENG stays in the game.
Bro.
I mean, the way the entire site hit breaks
jantung,
out.
Sumpah.
GENG just couldn't quite hold off. And like you mentioned in that retake, Texture Showstopper, you know, not quite being able to do what they wanted because PrX knows exactly how to respond to it.
Cuy. Baca chat DS, J. Ih, ngechat mulu. Udah nge-call ngapain ngechat sih kalian? Udah sleep call, udah 24 jam 7 bareng. Masih aja chat-chatan. Duh. Ngomong sih, gak semuanya parah. Sorry dah, my bad ya. Sorry ya, bro. Gone, bro.
Doesn't miss. They can up this wall once again. Munchkin has to get close. He needs
mau pulang sini apa di belakang King RRQ? Takut banget ya, jangan ngomong gitu guys, takut karma sih.
Doesn't negate the wingman though.
Definitely does not, but has a whole lot of commitments of walls to just get that wingman in. And if 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 can get this first frag, which he does, that's a lot of access points for both him as well as 𝘂𝘮 coming in through B main.
Mampus anjir.
Oh, PrX realizes so they have to force fight this. Can Forsaken hold on? Let his teammate at least fight for him.
Oh shit, bro.
And as the dust settles, it's 𝘰𝘮𝘮 3 versus 1. And he's not even planted for him. He's trying to get closer and closer, but that spike is just diffusing in front of his eyes, and he can't do nothing for it.
Tuhan Yesus.
It's a nice idea from PrX. You know, we've seen this execute already with the barrier orb, the gecko coming through. Great shot from something to open things up. But towards the end, like you mentioned before, the whole thing just comes down to gunplay towards the end of it. All that easily has already been spent. As 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘮 gets the frag from behind, it opens things up so much. The rest of PrX kind of got, you know, pinched down inside.
Kenapa terlihat sangat lelah?
Can't really fight back because of that. And of course,
yeah, fair enough. You know, better firepower here for GENG to make do with. One-way smoke always planted there on A main, but without the dog, PrX a lot more confident to actually push through this. But here's the thing, that Skye has not given away his position. So if he can play close enough, a guiding light could actually be a punishing play here, but the bait and switch for PrX, they immediately knew what was up. Meteor though, yeah, mentioned it, quick to go for the trade, but 𝘰𝘮𝘮 unstoppable at this point. Just keeps going in, and it's trade for trade, but PrX, as these dust settles, as these spikes come to a conclusion, is looking to get a little bit of the advantage, and that is just enough for them to work with. Texture coming into the corner right now, finds one. Everybody backs away onto elbow here. They got the utility, they got everything. Munchkin, it's gonna be big for him. He needs to find something right now with this flank. Texture is about to get sandwiched in. He's found himself that Phantom as you were talking about, but something's just too quick. He's just too good, and he's just too fast, and that's going to be that for this series. PrX claim it.
Nice little setup towards the end there from GENG, but of course PrX dismantles it with gunplay and just moving up front bit by bit. And throughout this entire map, we've been seeing so much and such an interesting composition. GENG being able to extend their life by so much longer. 5 rounds on the defense, but still 10-2 in the first half. PaperX does it all, and I think something that Forsaken on these roles. 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦𝘵 on the stage also has quite a bit to say.
And again, PaperX, they got a lot of time to cook new things up. We were expecting the same composition that they've had in the previous tournament, maybe just allotting 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦 into the agent selection that GENG has, but no, he's his own man, he's his own person. He's got a whole new slew of
Iwannya nanti ya, jam 5 ya. Break dulu ya 2 jam ya. Turun dulu ya sejam.
Yeah, Shrouded steps inside of his smokes. I mean, it's the same stuff that he did on Global, just on a different team and enabling them in a different way. The 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦 at times also helping out the team so much. I mean, 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘦 has been putting up good numbers so far today. The entire team has been doing great, but of course at the same time, GENG, I mean, what a way to start off the map. What a way to start off the match. Still, though, towards the end of it, I think the bigger thing to focus on is just this duelistless composition working out so well. It just shows whatever role you play, as long as you're that good of a player, you can still make it work, because I'm seeing a big number on the first blood stats under Forsaken and Something's name.
Bye, GG guys. See you later ya, jam 5.
It's a celebratory picture here for PaperX. I feel like a lot of fans were, a bit scared of what happened in that first game, but PaperX, they brought back the status quo.
I know I was.
Yeah, because our predictions was in danger. Anyways, we're going to pass it on to the interview. So